Okay. Can't seem to hear anybody. Adeza, can you hear me well? Just to confirm.
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Oh, okay, okay, that's fine. All right, that's good. All right, so we are going to be starting the session on time, so we can, discourse about AMDARI and all the things that we need to talk about today. Okay, and we have very, very intelligent, highly experienced professional that will come and speak to us today on how to bridge, the skill gap. Okay, and how to even plan for the new year. Okay. All right. So before we start, yeah, would like to know where you guys are joining from. Okay, I would like to know where you guys are joining from. So please, in the comment section, just drop your country of residence. So are you currently in Nigeria? Are you currently in the UK? Are you currently in Canada? Are you currently in the US? Where are you from? Nairobi. Oh, I can see someone from Dublin. That's Ireland. I can see someone from Kenya, Nigeria, UK, Canada. I have someone from Bradford, Ontario. That's in Canada. We have someone from Ghana, the United Kingdom. We have another Ghanaian in the house. That's good. Currently in Sierra Leone. That's amazing. It's good to have you here. All right. Thanks for taking our time, Thanks to everybody on the call. We're still expecting a huge number of people to attend the session. We have Nigeria. All right, that's good. That's good. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. No problem. Let's see. Let's see. So we don't have any South African in the house. We don't have anybody from South Africa, anyone from Zimbabwe, Tanzania. All right. Okay, quite a number of people from Nigeria, UK, Canada, currently on the session from Ghana also, which is great. Good to have you guys on board. All right. So we're going to be introducing you to Dari. Okay, that's the whole essence of the session for today. But before we even get to before we get to launching, seeing the platform itself, we'll be having a very, very interesting conversation with very experienced professional across the world. All right. So Adela, would you like to say anything so that we can kick ahead, kickstart the session?
All right, I'll just say I'm super excited to be here today and to launch this revolutionary product and platform to everybody here on the call and of course to the world in general. Simply, a lot of people always struggle, and there's usually a paper ceiling where people feel that I need to have X type of degree or X type of certificate and so on and so forth to get into your chosen career. So we are breaking that mold, and that's in line with so many other organizations that are also showing that, look, you can transition, you can get the skills that you need. We're in a skill-based economy, skill-based economy. And we'll talk about some key insights into some of these things. And I'm sure you'll take 1 or 2 points away at the end of today's session. And I'm super, super excited to listen to the amazing speakers that we have on board. All right. So all I would say is ensure that you don't have distractions. Pay very good attention, and you take away fantastic insights from today's amazing speakers. All right. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the evening. Thanks, Sophie.
All right, that's amazing. Thanks a lot for that, Adeza. All right. So just to talk a little background to what we are doing here today. All right. So why are we here? What's Amdari, first of all? I think that's the first question most people will be talking about. What's Amdari? Okay. And I think Adeza has hinted us a little bit about it. So Amdari is a platform that would help professionals across the world, not just Nigerians, not just Africans, but literally any professional across the world acquire industry knowledge and experience. Okay. Now, over the years, we've been running Analytics. Okay, we've been running Analytics as a business and also helping Africans across the world make this transition from whatever career path they were into the tech space. Okay, and over time, we'll see that quite a number of people ask almost the same questions and are always faced with one particular challenge, which is how do I gain industry experience? Okay, I've been working as a customer service representative. I've been working as a sales, I've been working in sales, sales in a bank. I've been, doing something that is entirely different from the tech space. How do I acquire industry experience? So you've learned Excel, you've gone for a boot camp, and you've learned Excel, you've learned Tableau, you've learned, whatever data engineering skills, you've learned data science skills, but you find out that whenever you apply for a job, you still get that rejection email. And that's because majority of them don't want to take a chance on you because you don't have that industry experience. Okay, so you've used Python, you've learned Python, but you are finding it difficult to see the real life application of how to use Python, within the real life, real life environment. And a lot of people have struggled with this. And that's where people will come to tell you that, oh, you can't get a job within a certain period of time because you don't have industry experience. Okay. And a lot of people are suffering from this, not just Nigerians, but literally professionals across the world. Now, the key question that we asked ourselves, okay, was how do we help people acquire this industry knowledge and experience? That was the key question for us. Okay, how can we make it? How can we build a platform that would, you know, sort of help people and hold people and guide them through how to apply this in different industries? Now, the industries, we'll talk more about the industries that we've built projects around and how you can actually leverage this platform to gain this experience that you're looking for. So, gone are the days where you have to go around looking for where to get projects and all that. So AMDARI is that one-stop shop platform that will give you all the things that you need. And I'm going to talk about all the services that we offer within AMDARI just to ensure that, just to tell you how robust the platform is going to be. Okay. So I'll tell you for free that if this is the platform that you've been waiting for, that thing that you feel like you feel there is a need for it, but there's nothing like that out there at this point in time. There is a platform that you need to start your career, to bolster your career to the next level. All right. So that Amdari is that platform where you can acquire knowledge and also industry experience. Okay. And I will talk more about that as we go on. All right. So before we go into the session today, we'll talk a little bit about Andari. Then we'll jump straight into the conversation, which is where we have our speakers. Give me a second. Why? What's happening? Sorry, I just have a little glitch on my system. Okay. All right. I'm just going to stop sharing and restart this. Sorry, guys. Just give me a second. I'm trying to bring it up so we can continue with the session. PowerPoint has decided to hang on me. Okay, so I'm just gonna go back to sharing. Give me a second. Sorry about that. All right. So that's what Amdara is all about. Okay. Now, who are the people behind Amdari? Okay, we'll still talk about the project contributors, anyways, but the founders of Amdari are the ones that will be speaking to you first. So myself and Adeza, we are the founders of Amdari. So, like I mentioned earlier, okay, being fact that we've been running analytics for the past almost over 3 years now. Okay, we've seen quite a lot. We've seen a huge gap within the job market and within the learning market, people trying to learn and transition. So it's not just for beginners, it's also for professionals that are looking to see, okay, I've been working as a data analyst the last 2, 3 years of my career, okay, and I want to move into a new experience. How can I make this move? So do I need to do a boot camp? Do I need to go to learn, do a training or do a master's or whatever it is in order for me to become a data scientist or a data engineer? You don't need to go through that route. All you need to do is just work on relevant industry projects and you'll be able to gain the experience that you need in order for you to make this move from being a data analyst to becoming a data scientist and a data engineer. So these are the things that we have put together based on our experience and also based on the business experience running tech analytics itself, helping people and holding people, training people into the tech space. So my name is Ifemena Ipro. I'm the co-founder of Analytics and I'm Dari. Okay. I have over a decade experience working across different roles within the tech space. Okay. So I've worked majorly in the data ecosystem. So I've worked as a data analyst, as a data scientist, data engineer, Power Platform developer. I've worked as a business systems analyst. My experience has been very varied across different sectors, across different roles. And, that's been my experience over the years. And one key thing I like to tell most people is also with the fact that I did not start my career in the tech space. I transitioned. And how did I transition? Working on industry relevant projects. So while I was learning, I was working as a consultant back in Nigeria. Working as a consultant, I started working on small projects, with SMEs and businesses back home in Nigeria. Okay, and that's how I really gained my experience, getting into the space of the data ecosystem. So that's me. All right. I would also call on Adeza to introduce himself and talk about his experience also.
All right, thank you very much, Ife. So my name is Adeza Suleiman. Super excited once more to be here. Founder of Analytics, co-founder AMDARI. And one thing I would just like to also add is AMDARI is, you say innovation is due to necessity, or necessity is the mother of innovation, and that gave birth to AMDARI. I'm a data analytics expert with close to a decade years of experience across different sectors. I've worked as a data analytics expert, data science across major companies in different regions. And my mission is to help organizations make sense of the data that they have so they can take data-driven decision. And that's on the one hand. On the other hand, is to deepen and entrench tech, especially within the area of data within Africa itself. So we have talents springing out of Africa that can fit into the global tech space eventually. And over the course of my career, I've trained well over 8,500 people, helping them transition from the classroom to getting their first jobs in tech. And my experience cuts across the energy sector, financial services, educational technology, automobile, and I've also worked as a management consultant. So when people ask that, is it possible to come from a different career and then transition into tech? The answer is a big yes. And as the session goes on today, I'll be very happy to share my own story and also show you how I've been able to transition over the years and the key factors that played a major role eventually. All right. Thank you very much, guys.
All right, awesome, awesome. Okay, and somebody said our pictures are looking like, all professionals. All right, but anyways, that's just something very interesting to see. And one thing I like to tell most people that are on the call is if you're currently amongst these three people, let me just move ahead to that. All right. So the reason why we created this platform is based on these three scenarios, and I want to know if you fall into any of these scenarios. All right. The first one is I just learned data analytics, I just learned data science, I just learned data engineering, and I need to work on projects. So you've learned it. It's not like you don't know it. You've learned how to use Excel, you've learned how to use Power BI, you've learned how to build a pipeline, data pipeline, you know how to web scrape, you know how to do all these things in data analytics, data science, and data engineering. Well, now everything is not coming together. You still feel there is a gap. You still feel like there is this need to learn more, to do more. All right. But there's a constraint because you don't know where you're going to get this more you're looking for. You're looking to get more data. You want to work on more projects. You want to solve problems. All right. To give you that confidence, to give you that thing that will boost you to get that new job that you're looking for. Because most times, to be honest, when you finish a training program, even when you finish a master's degree, you still feel there is a gap. You still feel like you're not good enough. That imposter syndrome. And what really helps you conquer that imposter syndrome is the fact that you're working on projects. Okay, that confidence that, oh, if you give me any data sets, I can work on it. I know where to start. I know how to move on from there. I know how to create solutions. I know how to confirm, bring out recommendations from your data, and so on and so forth. If you fall into that bracket, we're going to come to you. All right. The second bracket is I am a data analyst, okay, and I'm looking to become a data engineer or a data scientist, and I need to work on projects. Now we have people that are data analysts or they are business analysts or they are, they are currently in one aspect of their career. Okay, but they don't want to go for any form of boot camp, any form of training. They just feel like, okay, I've been a data science analyst all my life. Okay, all the part of my career, the last 1, 2 years experience. Okay, and I don't need to go and learn. It's not like I don't know these technologies. I know these technologies. It's just how to move them together, how to use them together to get the result I am looking for. So you're looking for a platform where you can get this kind of project whereby, okay, I know Python. Okay, all right. I know how to do a little bit of web scraping, all right, or I know how to do a little bit of pipeline and all that. Where can I get this project to sort of fine tune this idea I have in my head, all the skills I have? How can I bring them together to create a solution in data science or in data engineering or whatsoever? So you really don't need to go on a boot camp to do this, all right? You could actually just go on the platform, get projects, and work on this project in real time. Okay. Now the third bucket is, I have lost out on job opportunity because I lacked work experience, relevant work experience. So maybe you've learned data science or you've learned data engineering, and you apply for a job in a pharmaceutical company, pharmaceutical company or a cybersecurity agency or, FMCG or a bank. And they're asking you for, oh, where in your experience have you solved the critical problem in a bank using the tools, using this technology that you have learned? All right. And just talk because you really don't have that experience. Okay. Now, what we are doing is building a platform that would host projects across different sectors from FMCG to banking to pharmaceutical to manufacturing to any kind of industry, really. We have a ton of industry that we're going to be looking at. And we're going to show you the platform to just show you how robust the platform is. So you're not going to be missing out on these opportunities so anytime you are going for a job, take for example, you get an interview with, an insurance company, okay? Before the interview, you want to work on 2, 3 projects so you can tell the recruiter, these are the projects I've worked on in my experience working in insurance, all right? You can just come to AMDARI, get this project, watch the guided project, also practice alongside the instructor, and you're good to go for your presentation to use that as a guide. All right, to tell them that, oh, these are the things I've done in my experience as a data analyst working in an insurance company. And you would see these are the things that we have put together to ensure that if you fall into this category, you are definitely going to subscribe to Amdari. So let me see in the chat here if you fall into any of this category, if you fall into 1, 2, or 3, just put it 1, 2, 3. If you fall into just one, write the number. All right. So let me see where you guys fall into. If you fall into the bracket, the first bracket of I just learned and I need to work on projects, or you fall into I'm a data analyst and I just want to work on projects. I don't want to go and learn anywhere else. Or you want to lost out on opportunity because you don't have relevant work experience. Okay, we have a lot of ones in the house. I just learned and I need to work on projects. Okay, 1 and 2. Okay, that's good. All right, that's good. I have some threes, just a few threes in the house. Okay, all right. So we have just a few threes. We have a lot of ones. We have some twos. Okay, all right. Well, trust me, guys, it's projects that you need. And talking about my personal experience, like I mentioned earlier, what really got me started is just working on projects. Okay. So anytime I was going somewhere else and I was trying to sell myself, oh, I've done this in this particular organization. All right. Oh, I've worked on this project. Oh, I've done this project. And those are the things that we're in the skill-based economy. We're in a skill-based job market whereby it's your skill and the experience that you have that will put you ahead of any other applicants in the all right. So that's exactly why we started Amdari to get more people like yourself and everybody across the world, this experience that they're looking for. All right. Now, our services and offerings that we're going to be doing, the full bouquet of services that we are offering to everyone, all right, everyone on the call at the moment. The full services that we're offering, first of all, is real world end-to-end projects with solutions. Now, let me expatiate on this a little because I'm still going to do that at the end of the session. All right. We have taken people's experience. What we have done is we gathered a pool of experts, people in with that have industry experience. And what we've done is we've taken their experience, okay, and we have transformed it into learning programs, into learning projects, okay. So take for example, I've worked in manufacturing, okay, and I wanted to build a forecast, to forecast what the demand, demand planning, to do a forecast on demand, okay So I will take that experience and come up with a case study based on this my experience and create a guided solution to the project. And that's exactly what we've done. All right. So I will show you, don't worry, the platform is very, very robust. I will tell you that for free. Okay. So real world end-to-end projects with solutions, what you'll get from the platform. Number two, project portfolio and repository. So it's going to be a platform whereby you can share with recruiters to tell recruiters that these are the projects I've worked on. All right, you're looking for projects in insurance, you're looking for projects in manufacturing, you're looking for projects in oil and gas, energy, renewable energy, whatever kind of projects you're looking for, we have those projects. Okay, so it's going to act as a project, portfolio and repository that you can share with people across the industry to tell them that these are the projects I've worked on. If I come into your organization, I will do this and more. So rather than you just sharing a GitHub link, you can actually just share your portfolio, your project portfolio, and your repository with any potential recruiter, and they can see the list of projects you've worked on, and they can use that as as a gauge to see how good you are with the projects you've worked. All right. We'll also be hosting a lot of live hackathon sponsored by different organizations across the world. So it's going to be live hackathon, and a lot of goodies will be won from there. Okay, so we'll be doing a lot of live hackathon for you to not just learn from the project, but also even work on more, relevant industry experience and relevant case scenarios. Okay. So what we're going to do with the live hackathon is we are going to be partnering with organizations across the world. So take, for example, if a particular organization is currently going through a particular issue. Say, for example, they're having an issue with marketing analytics. Okay. All right. They're not getting enough clients through your marketing channels. Okay. They will convert that problem into a scenario and a project and will host it on our platform so that we can get people, users on AMDARI to come up with solutions to these projects. Okay. So we are going to be solving people's industry projects. We're going to be solving industry problems using the hackathon. Okay. Now, the fourth thing is short courses. Okay. So even if you are just learning, okay, even though you are just getting started, okay, or you're transitioning or whatever the scenario you are in, you still want to get a glimpse, short courses on certain things. Take, for example, you want to become a data scientist, all right, and you're working on a project on probably churn analysis, okay? You only want to a small course, a short course on what it is, okay, what it stands to, why you need to do it, and so on and so forth. Just basic short courses on certain key areas that you need to understand better. All right. So the platform would also have short courses for you to get started. Then we have data, business case and data set generator. So a lot of business owners across the world, business startups, business people across the world don't want to share their business problems with, third-party organizations. So, they would want to create fictitious, I wouldn't say fictitious, synthetic data, okay? So they want to create synthetic data that they can use to share, with a third-party application or a third-party consulting firm. So rather than you sharing your real-time data, so there's a lot of data privacy issues out there. So when you're engaged in a consulting firm or an individual, okay, if a business is engaging an individual or a consulting firm, so rather than them giving them their real data to work with, you can actually come on the platform, all right, and based on the case scenario your business is going through, you would come up with the platform will come up with a business case and also data sets to accompany the business case. And that you can share with a third party. So your data is still your data, it's still secured. Nobody knows anything about your business data. All right. The person will be working with synthetic data, and that synthetic data is what they would use to come up with a recommendation for the business. All right. So that's for the business side of things. Okay. Also, we'll be doing a lot of recruitment. So based on your project, based on live hackathon, based on organizational needs, we'll be doing a lot of recruitment on the platform because it is industry relevant project. So based on your delivery of the project, based on we'll be doing a lot of recruitment, also recruiting for top talent, not just within Nigeria, not just within Africa, but also across the world. Now, the last but not the least is team training, internship, and apprenticeship. Okay, so we do a lot of team bonding, team training. So if rather than you just paying for a 4 day training program, we can actually customize training programs for your organization to deliver customized training and also carry out what we call internship and also apprenticeship program for your organization. So there are quite a number of things that we're going to be doing on this platform. And trust me, guys, you want to be a part of it because you will be getting not just learning experience, but you'll be getting way more beyond just a learning experience. A lot of opportunities, a lot of prizes to be won, a lot of things to be won while you're using the platform itself. So, like I said earlier, it's going to be a very, very robust platform to get you all the things you need in order for you to get started in the tech space. So just one-stop shop, like literally it's one-stop shop platform where you can work on projects, where you can work on hackathon projects, where you can learn short courses, where you can get recruited, where you can get internship, where you can get apprenticeship. One platform that helps you perform all these, services, all these offerings. All right. So that's exactly what we've been doing the last, almost a year now. All right. You see, if you find this interesting, let me see, put a yes in the chat if you are excited about this. If you are, let's see. All right. Yeah, yeah. Let's go. All right. Yes, so all right. So it's a one-stop shop platform, guys. One-stop shop platform that hosts quite a number of services. And we're still going to be adding more to these. Trust me, we are still going to be adding more to this. This is just the beginning. All right. Some of these services they're out already, means that we're launching them. And some of them are still work in progress. But definitely all this is what we're going to be working on, in the next couple of months. Okay. Now, going into the session for today, bridging the skill gap, navigating the future of tech careers. Okay. Now, we're going into the new year, and obviously 2024, a lot of us are making plans for the new year. How do we get started? I've been hearing about tech the last 2 years, okay, and you're still not sure what you need to do to get started. How do you navigate? How do you get started? And even if you're there, you're learning at the moment, how do you still navigate? Because too much information can never be, there's not like too much information. Gather as much information as you want, soak it in as much as possible, and you can use that as a base of making a decision. So we've brought in very, very experienced people, all right, to talk to you on how to bridge the skill gap, how to navigate the future of tech careers. So that's exactly why we're having the session today. And honestly speaking, there are no other better professionals that we could have on board than the guys that you're seeing on the screen at this point in time. Okay. So we have Jennifer Stir Up, we have Olamide Jola Show, we have Samuel, okay, we have Adora, and we have Ola Leko in the house. Okay. So I'm going to be bringing up these, powerful people. Okay, I'm going to be bringing up these powerful people to speak to us today. And please, if you have any question, please just jot your questions down. We'll be taking questions at the end of the session. Okay. Okay, so let's see, guys. Let me see. Treasure is currently Treasure. You can hear me well. Yes, you can unmute yourself now. Sorry. So I'm just going to be bringing up
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
perfectly. Okay. So we have Jennifer in the house. Jennifer, I'm going to make you co-host so you can unmute yourself, okay? And turn on your video so we can get to see you. Olamide also. I'm just going to make you co-host so you can unmute yourself and get to start. You can unmute yourself and so Treasure, you could do that for the rest of the guys. I'm going to do the same thing for Olamide. Okay.
Someone was on the call as well.
Yes, you could just make him co-host and you know from there. Adora is not, I can't find Adora anyways. All right, Jennifer, how you doing today? Let me bring you up. Let me bring you up so everyone can see you. All right, fantastic. That's good. Jennifer, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Hello there. How's everyone today?
Everyone, we're doing good. I'm doing good. I'm excited. It's good to hear from you. It's good to have you on board. Also, thanks for taking our time to speak to us and also speak to the people on the call also. We also have Olamide Jolaoshu. Olamide, are you there? Can you hear me? You can unmute yourself if you can hear me
Yeah,
well.
hi, Efe, and good evening, everyone. Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
All right, fantastic. That's good. We might want to see your face anyways when the time comes.
Yes,
Samuel,
yes.
okay. Samuel, is Samuel on the call? Samuel, can you hear me? Okay, Samuel, you can mute. Okay, yes, you can.
Yeah. Hi, Femina. Hi.
Yeah,
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. I'm excited to be here today.
amazing. It's good to have you here also. And we have Olaliko. Olaliko, you can see your fresh face, clean face. Let's get to hear from you. Okay, so you can't unmute yourself, can you? Oh, really? Okay, let me just make you co-host.
Oh yeah, I think I can now. Hi everyone. So good to be here. Thanks for having me. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, okay, yes, I can hear you
All
perfectly,
right.
Liko. So okay,
Oh,
we
all
have
right. Okay.
okay. So Adora, I was looking at Adora rather than Nene, if I'm correct. Pardon me. Okay. All right. Yeah,
Hi.
so hi Adora. It's good to have you here. So we have these are the people we're going to be speaking that's going to be speaking on the topic navigating, sorry, why is this? Navigating the future of tech careers. So we're going into the new year and we have a lot of plans, okay? We have a lot of strategies. How can we break into the tech space? What are the difficulties? What are the ways to fight, move past the difficulties and so on and so forth, how to navigate essentially. And we have Jennifer Stirrup, she's the CEO and founder of Data Relish. We have Olamide Joel, the head of data analytics at Wema Bank. Samuel, database administrator at Core. We have Adora Unwudo, and she's the senior software engineer and also the founder of Nexa Scale. And we have Olaleko Akinsande, data scientist and AI engineer. So trust me, guys, these are the right set of people you need to learn from, to be honest with you. And I'm absolutely excited because I have my own Jota here. I have my own piece of Jota here because I'm going to be learning a lot from this guy. Oh, you can't see my Jota. Okay, I have my Jota. So I expect you to have your own Jota also, so you can take notes of things that these highly experienced professionals are going to say today. All right. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen so we'll focus more on the speakers. So I would like you guys to turn on your video so I can spotlight you for everyone on the call so that everyone can get to see you and then get to talk together. All right. Lekon, Olamide, Samuel, Adora. So I'm expecting you to turn on your video so I can spotlight you for everyone.
I will do that eventually, but I cannot do it right now.
Oh, okay. That's okay. So let's start off with since Jennifer's video is up and running, I'm just going to start from Jennifer. So Jennifer, do you want to just do a little bit of introduction so that everyone on the call can get to know you better and we can kick up from there. Hello, Jennifer, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Sorry about that.
Okay, no problem. That's fine. That's okay. So let's get to hear from you. Just a little bit of an introduction, brief introduction, your educational background, and your career experience, and so on. Let's get to meet you.
Hello there. Thank you, team, for having me here today. I really appreciate it. And it's lovely to meet you all and to really feel the energy and engagement. So that's wonderful. So my name is Jennifer Stirrup. I'm Scottish. I live in London. I first started coding when I was 8 years old. So a very long time ago, before many of you were born, probably. So I had an interest in artificial intelligence. And I did artificial intelligence at university, and I really enjoyed it. I think you have to follow your passion. And in IT particularly, you always have to keep learning. So I have an MBA. I've been a consultant for 25 years and running my own company for 14 years now. And you have to keep learning all the time, you know, and if you don't want to keep learning, then I have to ask you, why are you in IT? Why are you wanting these careers? You can't expect to have your career ready-made and handed to you. Now, skills are only part of it. I think the other part is a great attitude. Because sometimes I do jobs where I don't have all the skills, but I do have the attitude that I'm going to learn and I'm going to own the problem. So after university, I worked as an AI consultant and I worked from some quite large organizations. And I've also done charity work as well. I work with organizations who can't afford a data scientist, for example, and I do that for free, just to try and lift up and to give back. Because throughout my career, I've had mentoring and support and help from other people, and I want to give back. I believe in diversity, inclusion, and equality, particularly in the tech world. Because if you help people from all sorts and every background, you can start to lift them up. And when you do that, you have an impact in a family and people you will never meet. And that is just such a blessing to be able to do that.
Absolutely. I think that's as I think it will open so many people's mind already to wanting to hear from you a lot more. Putting at the age of 8 years old, that is absolutely remarkable. That's the first time I'm going to hear something like that. So that's a very wonderful experience. And I think one thing that you mentioned also that sort of resonates with me is the fact that you have also done a little bit of when you started with doing consulting for free for a lot of businesses around you. I think that's absolutely something that most people will take up from this particular session to say that, oh, if you have a friend of yours that has a business, you can actually start to apply data science, data analytics, and start to deploy within the small organization. And thereof, you can start your own consulting firm. So thanks a lot, Jennifer, for that wonderful introduction. Moving on to Lekon. Lekon, since I can see you, okay, I'm just going to take you next. Yeah. Your just educational background, your introduction,
Okay.
education and career. Yeah, that'll be fine.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you so much. Well, I'm Olalekan Akinsunde by name, and I guess a couple of people might know me, but it's such a pleasure to be here. Thanks a lot, Ife and Adeza and Treasure, really, for having me. It's always an opportunity and a privilege, really, to be able to share, and I consider this a great one at it. Okay, so well, my education background, interestingly, is in behavioral science, psychology to be specific, you know. So I'd say that I stumbled into, data science, data analytics, sometime in 2013, just about 10 years ago. At the time, I was doing an academic research program, and I got really interested. I was like, oh, okay, interesting. Looks like there's something of interest here, because at the time, I was also struggling to find a good footing into how do I apply psychology, right, into the real world. Because I remember even at that time, I'd already, for HR professionals in this space, I had already obtained the highest HR professional certification, which is CIPM in Nigeria at the time, because I felt like, psychology, most likely I would need to practice, as an HR professional. But as fate will have it, I just got really interested in, doing data stuff, judging from that experience, that I had collecting data, analyzing data. At that time, it was SPSS. I think nowadays people don't really use SPSS, but at the time it was SPSS, hardcore one. You have to manually do all of your computation and all that, So that was how I stumbled into it. And I use the word stumble, because even at the time, at that time there was nothing like data science, 2013, nothing like data science. People were just doing data and that was it, And so I remember my first job at the time, I got a job as a business analyst, and coming from a psychology background, as fate will have it again, my first opportunity was in a tech environment as a business analyst. And my role there was really to help documents to analyze, client requirements, and then, the company builds the solution, and of course I would also test. So I was also doing software testing at the time. And I remember one of those encounters, where I just realized, and maybe as time goes on in this conversation, I'll be sharing some of the things that I've learned along the way. I realized that the company, being a software company, was producing a lot of data. The clients that were using their solutions, all the data was sitting within their data center and nothing was being done on it. We had, large databases, nothing was happening. So on that fateful day, I just, felt like, hey, I can actually do something here, beyond my role. So one key lesson here is going out of your comfort zone. And I think Jennifer mentioned it also, in our introduction, that as a professional, you have to go out of your comfort zone. So I decided to take on the challenge to begin to, at that time, Power BI was also very relatively, this was 2016, Power BI was also relatively new. So I learned Power BI very quickly, started visualizing some data. And I remember the CEO of that company walking up to me one day and was like, where did you learn all of this? How come we did not hire you as a data analyst? And, so, but cut the long story short, so I can give all this, opportunity to speak. But that was it for me. So I started my career literally in that 2016, 2017, literally changed from just a software tester, for those who know technology very well, being a software tester, a business analyst is always like the first entry into anything tech. From being that, to becoming a data analyst for a tech company. And that was it for me. And I remember 2017, 2018, thereabout, there was this hackathon by Data Science Nigeria, where I was privileged to participate in it, in 2018, and, attended a boot camp. And I realized that, hey, so people are already doing stuff in data science, that, I didn't know about. So I remember 2017, after attending that boot camp, of course, did a lot of learning on my own. Before I left that organization, I built a recommendation engine, for one of our clients. And that was it, so being very hungry for knowledge and all of that. And from there, I joined one of the big four, that's KPMG, worked there as a data scientist, also as a founding member of the data analytics team of KPMG in Nigeria. And then from there, moved to DSN. So I worked with DSN also for 2 years, as their technical and consulting lead. At that time, we had a lot of projects with, Lagos State government, BMGF, and all of those, good guys. Then here I am. So since, my first job, it has always been from one data role to another. And today I'm a data scientist with the MasterCard Foundation. So yeah, I hope to share a lot here. And I know that we're going to enjoy one another. Thank you so much.
Awesome. I think majority of the guys in the tech space, within the tech space, have a very interesting story on how they stumbled into the tech space. All right, and I really enjoyed yours. Okay, yours was a very, very interesting story on how you're able to transition from your role to a new role. What was that thing that helped you project also? So thanks a lot for that, Leko. Very interesting story. We also have Adora in the house. Adora, it's good to have you on board. We're just doing a little bit of introduction so that the guys on the call can get to hear from you, get to know you a lot better. And yeah, so I think we just want to know more about your educational background and your career so far. I think that's just about it for now.
So about my educational background and my career, right?
Yes, exactly.
Sorry, 1 second. Okay. Hi everyone. Name's Adora. So unlike many people here that sort of like stumble into tech, I did not stumble, right? It was a very very intentional decision for me since I was a child. Since I was 7 years old or 6 years old or something like that, but still, a child. I got introduced into computers at a very young age because my father bought a computer and brought it home and said that his children should start using it. At the time, I'm the smallest child, the last born. So when all my teenage siblings are able to use computers, I could not. And because I could not, it made me want to use it even more. And obviously, when you go and you are dragging your brother's trouser, teach me, and they tell you leave this place and you say, no, teach me. But then they started teaching me because I used to play with them a lot, right? We all used to play together growing up. And it was crazy how the people I used to play with stopped playing with me and started playing with computers. I didn't like that very much. So I went to them so they could teach me how to play with computers so that we all played with it together. And unfortunately, or fortunately, the person that was not old enough to use computers at that time became the person that fell in love with it the most. And it was a thing of, I don't know what I'm going to do in my life, but it's going to make me end up in front of a computer. And obviously, I took very, very deliberate steps to achieving that. I stumbled on programming at a very young age. I used to be that child again, too young to have a calculator. But then you don't give me a calculator, but you give me a computer. That's cute. So I will code a calculator and I would use that to check my math assignments. And I don't know whether it was my love for programming that made me love math more, or my love for math made me want to code more. I'm not sure which one it is at this point, but I know that I constantly kept doing that. And fast forward into secondary school, I went to a school that was the first e-learning school in Africa. So even in secondary school, from junior secondary school, we had laptops. We used to use our laptops to study and things like that. And we had like an ICT curriculum as well embedded in the school, and there was like programming involved. So from like your JS2, JS3, you're already writing HTML. So I was writing like HTML. I was building very ugly websites, obviously, but I was still building it, got into that and I think the pivotal part of this story is what I'm getting to. In my SS2, ish, when it's time to fill jam form, because my brother wanted me to, he already saw that this girl is probably going to do computer science. I want you to go to Covenant. But then my father was like, no, everybody must go to federal school in this house, something. So, and I was too young to be sent abroad. None of us went abroad to do our bachelors. So it was a thing of, Nigerian parents, you do your bachelors here. When you are old enough and I'm no longer monitoring you, then you can go and do your master's wherever you want to do it. And if you want to stay there, that's your problem. Don't stress me. So it had to be a school in Nigeria. And my brother was like Covenant, and my father was like, no. So, okay, what's the other option? Unilag. And I remember that when I was now filling out Unilag, I wanted to put math. And I spoke to my elder siblings about it. We had a family friend at the time that was getting a master's in MIT. And my brother was like, I'm going to hook you up with this person. Talk to him. I think what you want to do is computer science, not math. Because I wanted to study math and learn to code. And they're like, okay, like, why? Why do you want to go through that whole stress of doing the two of them when, because like, okay, you study math and then you learn to code. When you now finish math, what do you want to be? And I said a programmer. So they're like, oh, why do you want to study math? And I'm like, I don't know, I like math. So, and I think this is where wise counsel comes in, because you don't know what you don't know. You are young, you're a child, or you're even older without as much access to information. Like whatever it is, it happens, right? And if you don't have the people around you to give you the information and the tools for you to succeed, you find yourself making a bunch of mistakes that could have been avoided. I'm not saying my life would have been a mess, but my life would have gone in a very different direction if I just didn't have access to people and wise counsel and things like that. And okay, so fast forward to that, I spoke to my family friend who was in MIT at the time, and I told him everything, and he's like, computer science is probably what you want. Unilag has a good computer science curriculum, so that's a good place for you to start from. I'm like, okay, I told my parents, and obviously, as usual, parents always know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. So my mom had a friend who had a daughter in Unilag that was studying computer science, and she was in her second year, meaning like when I entered, she would have been in her third and I would have been in my first. And that sort of became my mentor, right? It was just like a natural thing. So mentorship, guidance, and because it's crazy with all the things that I do and have done, like I've written 3 books on cloud engineering. I work as a senior software engineer and building stuff in the cloud. I have been like a part of a bunch of leadership fellowships and programs, and I have a nonprofit of my own. I'm a public speaker. I'm a this, I'm a that. I can go on, right? And when I tell people that I just recently turned 27, they do not believe it. And that makes a lot of sense because it does not sound like the portfolio of a 27-year-old. But like I said, when you have guidance, right, if that makes sense, that sort of like really helps a lot. So yeah, I went through computer science. I started working in my 4th year. I did an internship for 2 years, right? Graduated from my internship and I already had 2 years work experience, and I was able to start working, immediately. I started working at a company called Nucleus at the time. They're an advertising agency. So I worked at Nucleus for another 2 years, and I left Nucleus and I joined Microsoft. And now I'm building my nonprofits. I'm also working as a senior software engineer and doing like a bunch of other things as well. But that's because there's a lot that I do, and I can spend like, I'm trying to summarize this thing. There's a lot that I can do, and I can spend like 30 minutes talking about my track record, but I think it's better if we actually go into the panel session. So I'll switch off my mic now. Thank you.
Absolutely fantastic. And I must say this, I think the ladies that we have on board are beginning to, there's a pattern that women actually are more, they are more intentional about their career. When I was 6, 7 years old, I will tell you guys, I wanted to become a detective. I want to work as a policeman. And why was that? Because there were movies that detectives were smart, they were catching crime, and I just wanted to become a detective. So while people were already coding and people were already building solutions, I wanted to become a policeman. But anyways, that's just a joke about that. But yeah, I think we have the right set of people in the house today for you guys to learn from, people that have a wealth of experience and people that you will learn from essentially. We also still have Olamide Jolaosho. Olamide, do you want to come up to just a brief introduction about yourself, your career experience, and all that, so we can get to know from you too?
Yeah. Hi, Ife. I'm in transit. Let me see whether you can at least see me, and I'll try to make this as brief as I can. All right. Hope it's stable enough.
Yes, it is. It's fine. We can see you.
Okay. Hi, everyone, and it was interesting listening to the other panelists. My name is Olamide Jolaosho. Educational background, I'm an engineer by training. I have a brief stint as a computer scientist way back. That was for my days in Yaba College of Technology before I went into mainstream engineering. And I've been in banking all my career. All right. And I think I share the same fate with Olaliko in terms of I'll call myself the accidental data professional. Yes. I sort of like stumbled into data analytics myself. This was in late 2017, even though I'd done quite a number of roles in banking at the time. But then I think I was helped majorly by my background in computer science and engineering. So it was easy for me to pick up, even in those days of learning R, and then finally trying to get a bit of what SQL was about. And then when Python came about and the like. But then there was one thing that I knew that was different about myself. I knew I had a knack to just be in leadership. So from the get-go, I had patterned myself to manage teams, to lead data science teams. And in the organization that I've worked in the past, I've been opportune to do that, leading data science up to the point where I lead the entire data function today at the organization that I work. And it's pretty simple. I see that you need to have that connection between the guys that build the stuff and the guy that you're building it for. So someone has to help make sure that you make that particular connection. And it's all really about using that particular knowledge and then being able to get your team to solve problems in that regard. So that's been my own sort of like core specialty. Also, I run an initiative that deals with coaching and career counseling for young data professionals, even those in the mid-level, giving career counseling and career guidance, and a bit of consulting as well for those who are setting out to use analytics to drive their business. This has been a passion for a couple of years now, because you see, I tell people that we're a lot in Nigeria. We are quite a lot in Nigeria. We have over 200 million plus people, and a good percentage of those people are young. They are young, and then you have quite a number of talented people in the data space, and they are all really seeking for direction, seeking for clarity, seeking for how do I start my tech career. And that's just been my own passion. And a lot of the things, that initiatives that I do on the side outside of my general work has been geared towards helping people find that balance, helping people find that clarity, and giving that sort of direction. Vis-a-vis even using the skills that I've gathered over the years to work with my team to build a lot of stuff. And yeah, I know we can talk a lot of stuff, because at the end of the day, data analytics, data science, all that we do, you have to be able to use those things to solve specific business problems. It has to make money, all right? Because that's what all we are, business is really about, really. So that's just it, basically. If you are talking about education as well, I have 2 master's degrees. I have an MBA and also have an MSc in data science. And well, maybe one day, maybe I'll still do a PhD. You never know. And I do a lot of speaking as well. I do a lot of speaking, a lot of seminars all across the world. I'm fortunate to have spoken on a couple of platforms, and it's pretty simple. I like to just teach data professionals on how to actually find their course and make sure that they make the right career decisions on their journey. So I'll stop there, and thank you for having me.
All right. Thanks a lot, Olamide. Thanks a lot. Drive safely, please. Okay. I'm just okay. All right. Thanks a lot for that, Olamide. You know, guys, you see the kind of people we have in our house. Very smart, very intentional, very experienced professionals. The last one I'm going to take is Samuel. Samuel, are you there? Then we can just go straight into the question. This is the part you guys are waiting for, to be honest. The introduction is just, just the first part. The main questions are coming up very soon that you would use in identifying what you need to do to navigate the job market in the new year. All right. So Samuel, so let's get to know you, your career experience, and did you stumble? All the guys have been stumbling into the tech. What did the ladies have been intentional about? All right, so let's get to
Yeah. Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm super excited to be here. I think it's actually great that I'm doing my own introduction last, because my own story is very long. It's really long. If I start now, a whole lot of persons will begin to shed tears. So I think I'll just keep it real brief. I think more like Adora, I have something similar. At the same time, the only thing there was that I was not opportune to have like a device at that point in time. And even if I did, I remember I was playing this Osama bin Laden game, trying to hit the guy then. That was what I was doing then. But yeah, so as a child, I've always wanted to be a scientist, right? I've always wanted to be a scientist. Eventually, many years later, I still end up being a data scientist, right? There's still scientists there, but it was completely different from what I wanted to do. I basically wanted to do a lot of science projects then, but eventually it didn't work out for me as planned. But yeah, my story is like really, really funny. So I had a lot of issues with Nigerian school, getting into the school, and it wasn't because I wasn't intelligent or I didn't know what I was doing. But they jammed me a whole lot of times. Try again and try again and try again, and maybe I'm actually getting past a particular level, but then the next level, it could just be maybe a 1 mark or a 2 mark, and it's putting me back to the spot again. So I had like a lot of time spent trying to get into school, which didn't eventually seem great for me. Yeah, so I eventually found myself studying computer science at the National Open University. So with this, you know that I did a whole lot of self-study, because we don't have like a structured way of learning where we have like lecturers coming in a conventional university and all that. So it had to be a whole lot of self-learn for me. And of course, I was doing computer science, but it wasn't really like I was actually doing the same thing every other person in a conventional university would be doing, right? I think as at then, if you actually put me with someone who was studying computer science in another school, they'd probably trash me a lot, like beat me the hell out. So, but then I had to like, oh, this wouldn't be any hindrance for me. I have to give myself a whole lot. At some point, I even left studying. I was actually doing music. So I'm also a rapper. I love to do word plays. So then I even left school. I was going to music shows. I was doing music. I was rapping everywhere, trying to rack up small funds, and um, just trying to also build up on my profile then at the time, right? So I was actually saying, oh, if education does not work for me, then music has to work for me. So eventually, 2019, I had an accident, and I think it was a great one for me. I almost lost my legs. I'm thankful to God for that. But I think it was also great for me because at that point in time, I was home for a long period of time. I wasn't attending school. I wasn't going out anywhere. So that period, it was really great for me. I decided to like, okay, I really need to figure out what I want to do with my life. I was home, always on the bed. I wasn't going out, and that's where I had to get a device and start looking into what I want to do in my life, right? And from there, I actually picked up data science and started learning. By the time I'm able to start moving out, I had already gained some very, very key knowledge on that. And of course, over time, I've been able to build a whole lot of projects. Also, one that has actually secured an investor and many others as well. Currently, I work with core technology where I handle all the databases for most commercial banks in Nigeria and microfinance banks in Nigeria also. So, but yes, in order to keep it short, my profile is really, my story rather is really like a very long one, but I think to keep it short, yeah, that's basically about me. And plus, over the years, I've also been able to have like sessions, training sessions where I've been able to help other persons come up. I think during my time, right, there was a lot of difficulty for me while learning. So currently, I'm really excited that I'm able to help people simplify all of those difficulties or break them down into simpler ways that they can learn much better and faster. Yeah.
Awesome. That's absolutely fantastic. Samuel, you also very, very great experience and very lovely story on how you were able to transition and how you got started, even though it was a bit, it's a subby one, but definitely at least you're here today. You are an experienced professional, you've helped people. And I think that's something that is very consistent amongst all the people also that came in and that are currently on the session. People in tech are always very willing to help other people transition to get started. And that's the whole essence of this our session today. And that's the whole essence of what we're doing here at AMDARI also. Now, the key thing now, let's jump straight into the main questions for today. We've heard from all the speakers and the house today. So now the key question, we're talking about navigating careers in tech. 2024 is a new year. Most people are making up their reservation, their new year plans and all that. And a lot of people are asking themselves, should they start? Should they get into the tech space? Now, I can tell you that we've gotten a ton of questions around the job market being saturated. Okay. I have 2 friends that are learning data analytics. I have another 5 friends that are learning data engineering. I have another 10 friends that are learning data science. Now, because I'm not learning, I have my friends that are learning. They feel like the job market is saturated. Everybody is doing data. Everybody's doing this. Everybody's doing tech. The job market is saturated. Now, the key question I would like you guys to answer. I'll start with Jennifer because you're the first on the list. Okay. You think tech careers, the tech space, if the career path for tech professionals is saturated, and people that are looking to get in at the moment won't be able to get in because there are no jobs and there's an over demand or oversupply than demand itself. What do you think about that?
I don't think that's the case. I think what you're seeing is a growing recognition that businesses need to deal with their data. For decades now, businesses have focused on the technology, and the data is quite separate from the technology. So earlier in our career, in my career anyway, organisations built data warehouses that weren't always fit for purpose. They didn't support and help the business. So people started using Excel and spreadsheets everywhere. And you needed more of a compromise between the little data and the big data. So I think what you're seeing is that growing recognition that every business has data. I run a small business. I have data, you know, everybody has it. If a business doesn't have data, something's wrong, because you don't know who your products are, your services, who's paid what. You obviously don't know either who your most valuable customer is. And you can only know your most valuable customers if you have the data. Sometimes what people think in the reality is very different. So I would say, no, I don't think it's oversaturated. I think there's a growing need for skills in these areas. I've survived throughout my career because I knew the data, and it makes you a very useful person to know. It also means you get in the company of the business leaders, and that's important if you want to grow your career. It's almost like a ticket that helps you, because when people reach that stage of leadership, they need their data, they need the insights. And if you're the person that can help achieve that, then it will help to leapfrog you to success.
Absolutely fantastic. I like the fact that you said something very germane, which is every business generates data. That's looking at even the tech space, right? The data ecosystem. Every single business generates data. Even if it's a small business, you're selling clothes online, all right? You're selling clothes from your room on Instagram. You are generating data, all right? So businesses as small as that need analysts, need scientists, needs, so many tech professionals in order for them to survive. So you see, there's always going to be a demand. That's from Jennifer. So let me take Liko next. Then I'll see if Adora would want to chip in also.
Yeah, thanks, Efe. I honestly think Jennifer has captured it well, because hey guys, the fact is saturation is not the word, mainly because, I mean, think of it from an economic point of view. There will always be the law of demand and supply. So the question is, people who say that the space is saturated, definitely most likely on the supply side, thinking that it looks like nobody is demanding for their services, right? But the fact is that there is also a spectrum, right, in the supply side. We have the entry-level guys, we have the mid-level guys, we have the experienced guys, right? And what you realize is that from the demand point of view, which is from the organization point of view, usually organizations always look out for people within the mid-level, right? I mean, let's call a spade a spade. And that's why you see that, people who are in the entry-level gap, who have just learned, would tell you that, oh, it looks like there are a lot of people learning this, and it looks like they are not, it looks like there are no opportunities. But I can tell you this for free, that even within the entry-level space, all right, there are dynamics for positioning yourself, right, to be someone, to appear as someone that has a mid-level experience. All right. So let me take that again, just in case somebody didn't get that. Even as a learner, there are dynamics that you can engage to position yourself, all right, as someone with a mid-level experience. And I honestly think that that's one of the things that AMDARI is here to solve for, all right, helping you with the experience, the knowledge that are required to position yourself. Because I tell you, every now and then I have opportunities of, interviewing entry-level folks. And I have had people that they're fresh out of school, but I tell you, Ife, that these guys are as good as any mid-level person. Why? Because they have learned, and not just learn. If you go on, their social profile, you see all the projects that they've done, having different projects, real world, program, not iris data that everybody goes to cargo to do, not iris data, real world industry grade, problems, solving real world problems. And at the end of the day, right, these guys not just solve, they also make posts. And I love to tell people, for somebody who is thinking of next year, I tell you, next year should be a year of actually building and making noise about what you're building. And what do I mean, right? I don't mean go online and start, posting every snippet of your code. No. When you build something, write about it, have a Medium account, go on LinkedIn, post about it. Because by so doing, you are building a track record for yourself. All right. You're building a track record such that when you appear before an interviewer or when you submit that CV or your portfolio link, there is that, there's that flavor, right? That any recruiter sees and says, oh, this guy is outstanding. All right. And that's from the demand side, right? That's how to go about it. So the field is not saturated. Even looking from the local market perspective, yes, maybe from the local market, but we have an advantage as tech professionals. You have an advantage. You don't have to play within your local markets. All right. There are organizations that I mean, for example, someone like me, right? I don't have to go to the office. I don't have to. My colleagues are not, most of them are not even in the country, right? And we still get the work done. All right. So it's just important for you to, get out of that mindset that, oh, it looks like the space is saturated. No, it is not. You just need to learn how to work the dynamics. And I believe that as we continue this conversation, some point to keep coming out and then you can action some of them. So thank you very much.
Nico, you've done a fantastic job, shedding so much information, so much light into it. There's one key thing we like to tell people, even from our experience with analytics, is tech skill. There's a reason why they call you global tech talent. Okay, it's a globalized skill. So even if you're not getting a job within your local environment, it doesn't mean somebody from Germany doesn't need that skill itself. So the market itself, it's actually very, very huge. It's a very huge market. I don't know if Adora wants to say something or Olamide would like to say something before we move to the next question. Would you like to talk around that, Adora?
Say something about
Okay.
that. About the saturation thing, right? I don't think the answer is yes and no, if I'm being very honest. Especially, I'm not going to sit down here and tell you that, oh, tech people, there's data that says 100% of this one, and people are looking for jobs. Tech jobs will grow in 2040. You are in 2023 and they're sacking people. So right now, if I'm being very honest, there's a lot happening, right? Especially in an industry where people are getting laid off. You see a role for like 8 years work experience as an engineer, senior software engineering, 8 years work experience. But you that has 8 years experience, you're applying for that role with someone that has 23 years experience that just got fired, right? So it's like at this point, like the industry is not stable. But the truth is, there's always, this thing has happened before, right? There's always going to be a bull, there's going to be a bear, and it goes like this. And the funny thing is, when it eventually comes back up, everybody always thinks that it will never go back down, right? I don't know where the delusion comes from, but it typically happens. I guess what I'm trying to say is focus on being the best at what you can be, because the truth is, as there are companies that are laying off, there are also a few companies that are hiring. As people are losing jobs, they're getting new ones. People are building companies, people are getting experience. And similarly to what AMDARI does, I have a community that does that as well, right? To help people connect them to roles and things like that, because people learn by doing. Do you understand? Like, you can't just go and finish a course in Udacity or take 5 Udemy courses and that's it, because you are already competing with people. You have to-do list app. You have, so yeah, I have to leave very soon. You have a to-do app on your GitHub, right? And you are competing for a role with someone that has built something and they've posted it on Product Hunt and they have a few viewers and a few reviews on that product on Product Hunt. So you want to make sure that you are learning, but you are also doing. And like one of the speakers said, you're building in public, because sometimes a lot of roles that you see that people get hired for, especially nowadays, it's from recommendations. So when somebody asks somebody, do you know anybody that does? So a recommendation or HR or a recruiter reaching out to you directly has a very high chance of getting you an interview faster than you applying on a job board by yourself. Because I promise you, go and look at LinkedIn, the role you want to apply for, 223 people applied for that same role yesterday, right? So what makes you different is if you build in public and people can see you and recommend, then you get the chance to interview. You don't get the job, you get the chance to interview. Now, when you get that chance to interview, you are left to the point where you have to prove yourself by showing track record, especially for a newbie now, by showing your track record, showing things that you've built, showing open. I know that, yes, you might not have a job, but there are open source contributions that you can make. There are products that you can work on with your friend. People can come together, build things that you can, actually have real users for. Like maybe something that a challenge in your school, a challenge in the tech community that you are in, build something that solves that challenge, open source it, be the primary maintainers, and watch it grow from there. I know someone that got hired into Microsoft because he built a tool called Coverlet. I don't remember what Coverlet is for, like test coverage, right? And when he built Coverlet, it was a very small tool, open sourced it. A lot of people started using Coverlet, right? And it has even grown to a project that is now a lot, like it's bigger than him. There are other people in the organization, there are other open source maintainers for Coverlet, and he's an engineer at Microsoft, is chilling, right? Whatever small idea you have, whatever small product, there's something that sets you apart from the rest. Find what that thing is and capitalize on it with your full chest. You can't just sit down and complain that the industry is saturated, because if we're playing by those rules, every industry is saturated. FMCG is saturated. Anywhere you go, you turn. If you're in Lagos, you're seeing Ebano. If you're in Lagos, you're seeing ShopRite. You are seeing Spa, or let me say Nigeria, right? You are seeing Spa. If you go to the east, for example, you see Roban, but people are still selling out. If you come to the US, you see Walmart one side, you see Target one side, you see Wise, but they have the people that they're servicing and they have their customers. So the point is, whatever gives you that advantage, capitalize on that advantage that you bring to the table, and put that out there when you're looking for roles. I also believe more in attracting roles to yourself as opposed to going out to look for jobs. So positioning yourself in a way that, you attract recruiters, you attract recommendations, you attract things because you are in the right place at the right time, in situations like this where you are building things and people can vouch for you, and then the next time there's something, you're the one that they're recommending. All of these little things that you do consistently over a long period of time, it has a way of changing your story, essentially. So I'll leave with that.
Thanks a lot, Adora. Thanks a lot. I know you have to catch a flight now, so thank you very much for coming. Thanks for that very, 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 very straightforward, very good answer to the question. So one thing I've learned from Jennifer to Lincoln to Adora that spoke is you need to separate yourself. Okay, you need to build personally and not just build within yourself. I was speaking to some professional early this year, and I was telling the person to, whenever you work on a project, put yourself out there, write a Medium article, write it on LinkedIn, put it out there, let people get to see what you're doing, get to build in public, essentially, like Lincoln said. And the person said, I don't want people to know what I am doing. And I found that very funny. All right. But you have a market whereby you need to actually sell yourself. You are selling yourself to the public and all that. So if you want to build in public. So let me hear from Olamide before we move to the next question. Okay.
All right, thanks, and fantastic contribution from the other speakers, really. This is a question that for me has piqued, or I have a lot of personal interest, really. I'll start by saying that I don't believe the job market is saturated. I don't. Every single day I see jobs out there, and the employers are finding it hard to fill those job positions. I'll take it from my own experience as an employer. Maybe in my own small team, on the average, I've employed like roughly maybe 3, 4, 5 people this year. And I'll give you an example. Earlier in the year, I was looking for someone to run data governance for my organization. And I had a very, very funny criteria because I've worked with someone in my past experience who had a law background and then had a knack for data governance. And then she ended up even migrating to the UK to really work in data protection or data governance centric organizations. I just told people that, okay, do you know anybody that studied law and I wants to do data governance? It was a very, very funny mix. Yeah, and even though on the day we're going to interview, I had a couple of guys that were on the interview that didn't have this background. So somebody in HR just came out like, oh, I have one CV for you. This lady studied law and is interested in data governance. I was like, okay, add to it. And yet a lot of the initial CVs we had were like recommendations, just like AMDARI had said, a lot of jobs come through by recommendations. And trust me, the guys that we thought were going to probably how like a tick the box ended up not ticking the box. By the time this lady that had the law background came, and she just ended up wowing us. I can remember what the colleague said after the interview was like, do we really need to listen to any other person today? And like the rest is history. This particular colleague of mine has been working with me for over a year and she has been fantastic. This is where I'm going. You need to stay true to yourself. All right. Everybody's doing data analytics, everybody's running to go and learn Python, Power BI. Okay, I want to be a data engineer, SQL. What is that particular thing that is true to you? All right. What aspect of it resonates with your strengths, your competencies, your interests? If you find that out first, then it's easier for you to start to build your learning around that area. Okay. And then it's just a waiting game. It's a waiting game. Trust me, the job will come. When I was introducing myself, I spoke to the fact that I had a computer science background, I had an engineering background, I'd done banking for quite a number of years, found myself in data. But even though I found myself in data, and I could try to kick it with the guys that were writing yes, we built a couple of models back then, built a lot of solutions, but I knew I was being true to myself that what I was probably best at was to lead people, manage teams. And I made that decision before I saw the job advert, before I got the recommendation. I built the skills, I tried to build the competencies that would make me lead a team. I was just a waiting game. All I needed to do was to wait for the right opportunity.
Olamide, sorry, I think your mic just went muted. Something happened. Your mic just went muted. Yes.
Hello?
Yes, yes, we
Oh,
can hear you now.
okay. So that doesn't mean that you shouldn't build your own personal profile or your CV or work on your LinkedIn profile to create that particular public profile that you need to be noticed by recruiters for you to get into the room, for you to even to get to be interviewed. All right. But then you need to stay true to yourself. Because I tell you, there are a lot of jobs. I mean it. There are a lot of jobs that the recruiters are finding it difficult to fit in the responsible people. I've interviewed people for other roles, and then you just like, oh, just smile and sadly say, oh, well, good guy, has the skills, but doesn't fit. You need to be able to make sure that it is, and for some people, we've had to walk away from jobs as well because you see that like, oh, this doesn't fit me. And then you walk away regardless of what they're going to pay you. I'm not saying that for those who are entry levels that you walk away from roles and everything. Yes, I'll be real to say that this is Nigeria and there are realities about people needing a job. But if you are true to yourself and you build that skill in an area that is unique to you, trust me, it will get to a time when that job will find you. I'll stop at that.
So I think I'm actually I'm enjoying and I'm loving this conversation, to be honest with you. And talking about saturation, I think I'm going to throw something in the mix now. Okay. Now, people are thinking it is saturated. Now, with the advent of AI, Chat GPT, Bard, Bing, and so on and so forth, quite a number of AI tools are now deployed in the service, in the industry itself. Now, coupled with saturation, coupled with AI, okay? Now, let's even focus on AI. Let's talk about the advancement in technology. Is it going to, what do you guys think? Is AI going to replace quite a number of roles in the tech space? Now, looking at the data ecosystem, we are majorly more data, software. Do you think AI is going to replace our jobs? a lot of people are scared. I don't want to do this. That AI is going to replace us in the future. Do you think AI is going to replace? I think I want to hear from Samuel. If you want to train your own mix, how you want to go about it from saturation to AI taking over people's job and all that. I don't know if Samuel would like to take that.
Hello there. I'm happy
Okay,
to
okay,
take that one. Hello there.
okay, Jennifer. Yes, okay, go ahead, please, Jennifer.
So I don't think AI will replace jobs, but I think it will change them. I remember when the internet was the thing that people were worried about. Back in the day, people said the same thing about the internet. People were going to lose their jobs and it was going to be a terrible future. We'd be overrun by machines. And that didn't happen, but jobs did change. So instead of bank tellers, a person, you had bank staff offering customer service, but a lot of systems automated. And I think AI will do the same thing. It will automate and it will make people's lives easier in a lot of ways, particularly for customers. But it will also change people's jobs. I like to think it makes the most of our human skills and makes and helps us to uniquely focus on the things that and the skills and the qualities that make us uniquely human. So things like creativity, for example. So I think ChatGPT and these sort of technologies give you a great start. They give you ideas, but what they can't do is give you an opinion. And I think that's really what a thought leader does. And you can be the thought leader in your organization. It's not just about parroting off knowledge, it's about coming up with solutions that are relevant and also meaningful as well. So I am really sorry, but I do have to drop off. I've got another commitment. So if anyone's got any questions, I'll just put my email address in the chat. But I'm so sorry. I think we're starting to overrun a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's
thought
fine.
we'd be
The
done.
conversation. Yeah, thanks a lot for that, Jennifer.
That's
All
all
right.
right. All the best.
You
And
could
I
drop your
look-
LinkedIn. We'll drop your LinkedIn.
oh, okay.
You have 5 people reaching out to you on LinkedIn. If they have any
Yes.
further questions, we can ask. Fantastic. Thanks a lot, Jennifer. Really appreciate that.
Thank
Okay,
you.
okay, your email is there also. Okay, that's great. Thanks a lot, Jennifer. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, so we have so Samuel, do you want to talk
Yes,
about
yes.
AI and how AI is
Yeah.
going to take people's job and all that? Yeah.
Yeah. So first off, I think I wanted to mention earlier on the previous question that you put out, um, if tech careers are being saturated. I think my small input would actually be both yes and no, right? And I think I actually like what Olamide said in that regard. There's an aspect where he mentioned specialization. A whole lot of times, right? It's very important to be able to niche down to what you want to do. The tech space is really, really big, right? And I feel like people are really clustering on a particular job role. Say, for example, data analytics, right? In data analytics, it is a big field. There are so many job roles that we can actually get from there. But people are really clustering. Oh, I'm a data analyst. I have to get a job as a data analyst. There are a lot of roles that are in there that we don't even know about, right? I usually say one thing. I think it's just the way Nigeria is. In many Western countries, right? As a data analyst, you most likely do not even need to be aware of all the aspects that you need. You can just choose to say, oh, I love data visualization. I want to niche down to data visualization and focus on that. You can be a BI analyst. You can be a Power BI developer. You can just be a data visualization expert, right? Sometime last year, I worked with an organization on a contract role in the US, right, as a BI and SQL developer, right? It means I'm still a data analyst, but I don't have to do everything together, right? I'm only focused on BI and SQL, right? So basically, I think the aspect of specialization is very important. Look at the things that you're learning and focus or tailor it down to a particular niche or role, and then you should be good. Also, I think the aspect of being saturated is being said by a lot of persons who want to get into tech. So many trainings here and there, and for entry roles majorly, right? If you get to senior roles, you find out that there are not much persons who are there to fill up those roles. An example would be sometime this year, my manager resigned, and it took the organization like a lot of time to be able to find a replacement. Now that's at a senior role, right? It took the organization a lot of time to be able to find a replacement that would actually come and jump into that particular role, right? However, it didn't work out. He had to come back again, right? So on the senior level or at the senior level, right, there are a lot of roles that are open. And also, I think someone actually mentioned that it's important to position yourself as an intermediate person. However, in order for you to be able to do any of that, you need to have had a solid understanding of that particular field that you're into. It's not just about working with surface level projects like maybe the Titanic data, and then you're saying, "Oh, I've been able to explore, I've done things." You need to have accessed or explored a lot of very, very critical projects, especially with business perspective. Because when you get into organizations, no one is going to tell you, "Oh, what is the count of these? What is the sum of these?" and things like that. You need to ensure that you're able to look at the business perspective to help solve problems. Now, also, I think with the emergence of um, systems or new technologies, AI, right? I think it's really, really exciting that we're having all of those things out recently. There's a whole lot of promising future for everyone, not just for the people who are actually building AIs, but also for the end users as well. I think there's a whole lot of exploration and use for we, the end users, right? Now, in the aspect of whether AI will take our job, I think my answer is just going to be very simple, right? And it's just going to be LOL, right? Because there's absolutely no way AI would take your job. Of course, allow me to say things like, okay, I think that was Jennifer, right? She mentioned things like AI is going to reposition the way people get to work. It's going to reshuffle everything, or you have to work smarter, you have to work better, and the likes. But there's absolutely no way AI would take your job or replace you. Now, again, with the emergence of AI and new technologies, right, jobs will go. We no longer have to do things that we were doing previously. But also with the emergence of these guys, it gives birth to new ways to handle things much better, much smarter, much faster, and that increases things that increases more productivity, right? So again, there's absolutely no way AI can take your job. I have a friend in data, right? Olawale Imbuke. He says this particular thing a whole lot. AI would only be beneficial to people who know how to utilize it. So if you know how to utilize it, you definitely be able to get more productive in whatever you're doing, right? So you that you're not using AI, you're saying, "Oh, I need to be smart, so AI does not take my job." You'll be the person that will get replaced, right? AI does not take your job away. You get replaced because you don't know how to utilize AI to increase your productivity. But once you're able to utilize AI to increase your productivity, of course, you'll be able to keep yourself at the top, right? So there's a whole lot that AI has to offer us. And I think it's actually great for anyone in this phase already. Because previously, most of the things that we get to do manually, AI is there to help us make them faster. We have the likes of GPT, Gemini. I was able to look at some introductions to Gemini last couple of days, and they were really, really mind blowing. So thinking about a whole lot of things that could be achieved using things like that. And of course, GPT. Myself, I'm a very proud person of GPT, right? Because I utilize it a whole lot. Before GPT, I would carry out my work effectively, right? But of course, with the emergence of applications like GPT, BAD, and many others, we'll be able to do things much better. Oh, there's some issue ongoing, and at that point in time, you're unable to think, or maybe you're unable to contact someone who's like superior to you, right? You want to consult GPT. So basically, I think I have a quote: "In God I trust," and GPT also, right? So you want to ensure that you're utilizing these guys very often. Many of my slides that I get to make use of, my presentation slides, they are usually created using Canva. Canva also has some AI embedded into it recently, and it's been really, really fantastic for me utilizing that, right? If I have to create a slide that would take me days normally, right, I could just tell Canva what I want to do, give it descriptions, and it's going to generate images or maybe animations that I want, right, for those specific topics. So yes, AI is absolutely taking no one's job. You just need to learn how to work with AI and get better with that.
Awesome. I think there are quite a number of things I picked from yours, from what you've said. I will come back to it, okay? But I want to see if Olamide or Nico would like to give their own opinion on this. Would AI take people's job in the tech space, data professionals, and tech professionals as a whole? All right. So I don't, Nico. Yes, you can go ahead, please.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, thanks, and thanks, Samuel. You've captured it really well. Because guys, the fact is, AI is not going to take your job. AI would not take your job only on a condition. So there's a caveat to it, all right? And that is the fact that you must learn how to use AI, right, to make your job even easier. All right. And that's the purpose really of artificial intelligence. I'm an artificial intelligence engineer, and I can tell you for free that in the last 1 year, since the beginning of this year, a lot of work that I've done with AI was really around prompt engineering, building custom AI-powered chatbots, and all of those things. And why are we doing them? Really to just make life easy for everybody, right? So it's important for you to learn as a data professional, because I believe everybody here is into tech, data to be more specific. So we need to learn how do we use these AI technologies, or let's even just streamline it, really, GPT technologies, right? Large language models. How do we use them, all right, to make our work even easier? I can give you an example. I've had cases where, for example, this one is actually funny. I had a code, that was a complete data engineering pipeline that somebody wrote in R. And someone like me, I'm not very proficient in R programming language. And all I had to do really was that this was a line of code of about 2,700 lines of code, guys. And I needed to rewrite it in Python. What did I do? GPT to the rescue. ChatGPT started, of course, there's a level of knowledge that was required, but I was able to rewrite the entire code, not just rewrite it, modularized it. It had, different microservices from that R programming, R code, right? Using ChatGPT, and the code is working, So we must learn how to use these technologies to make our life easier. It will not take our job. At least it will not take our job, mainly because our job is not routine, right? There's a level of creativity to the work of a data professional, right? There's a level of judgment, right? Olamide has said it, really, leadership. Even before you start leading people, right, you must lead yourself, right? And that's what this role, this profession has given us, the ability to lead yourself, and make use of AI to make life easy for yourself. So I put a full stop there, and I hope somebody is encouraged.
Fantabulous. I think you've done a great job explaining this concept, everything. And, just for me to chip in a little, just to add to what Leko and Samuel have said, AI will not take your job. And there was this study that happened, I think this was a couple of years back, okay? It was based on robotics. A lot of people, also at one point in time, they were saying robots are going to take people's job, not just AI. All right. So they did a study in the US, was on surgical operation. Okay. They had a doctor, very experienced doctor, okay, very experienced surgeon, and they had a robot. Okay. So they were meant to perform the same operation, the same procedure, okay, which was to remove appendix from a patient. So the experienced doctor or surgeon did the operation and achieved an accuracy of about 90%. All right. The robot did the same thing, the same procedure, and got a whooping 93%. Now, when they combine, no, if you look at this test on individual level, you would say, oh, the robot should be the one to take on the procedure because it achieved accuracy of 93%. But now a third test was done to merge the surgeon and the equipment, the robots together to perform the same procedure. And guess what? They had a whooping 98% accuracy. Now, leading back to what Samuel said, AI will not take your job. But if you are thinking that, oh, AI, I'm not going to use AI, I want to work smart, I want to build my thing myself, and so on and so forth, you are that professional that would definitely be chased out using AI. Because I was speaking to a friend of mine, earlier this year also, mid this year, around June, July this year. And he works with one of the top medical research firms, AstraZeneca, okay? And he currently works as an AI engineer. And we're looking to hire a data scientist on the role. And guess what? He was telling me that he would honestly prefer somebody that knows how to use ChatGPT to write their codes or proofread their codes and get their codes written better or optimize it and so on and so forth. And I was laughing, we are just laughing about the situation, okay? But that's just the way it's going to be. Okay, it's not going to replace. It's likely going to replace it if you don't know how to use it. We're using Samuel's words. So thanks a lot for that. I think I found that very insightful. And for all of us that are on the call looking to leverage AI, please also start to do that. Now we're talking about AI, and now the key question now is going into the new year. We're looking at how we can navigate the tech career path. Getting into the career. Majority of the people on the call are looking at how they can get started. They've been working in banking, or they've been working in some other organization, customer service, or whatsoever. Now we want strategies. Okay, what would you say they should going into the new year? What strategy should they have in order for them to succeed, in order for them to, get that role that you're looking for? What would you say they need to do differently? Think one or some of you have said something. A lot of people are learning. Okay, go on Udemy, Udacity, pick up, start learning Excel and so on. But learning is not enough for them to get the job. What are those strategies would you say they need to do in order for them to, become this tech professional that you are today? So I'm going to move to Olamide. Olamide, would you like to share any strategies you would advise these people to take on in order for them to be successful next year, 2024?
Yeah, thank you. Well, to be very, very honest, I actually have an entire course in answering this question. I'm pretty serious around it. So if you leave me here for the next 2 hours, I'll probably be breaking down things that you need to do. But I'll try to just give some key points. I think the very first step that you need to start with, I think I mentioned it in my earlier comments on the first question. What are your own strengths? What are your interests? Which areas in tech, in data are you strong in? I'll give an example. I had a couple of guys entry level that came fresh off training school, and 5 of them were supposed to join my team. They are still in training school, and I had the pleasure of assessing them and them identifying the guys I would pick to join me out of like a host of a few. And I gave the entire team a presentation to summarize what they had learned. They had a short internship with my team directly, and they were supposed to go back to training school. And I think there were about 12 or so, and I had to just pick a couple of them, and they did a presentation. And all I saw in the presentation, PowerPoint, I was like, okay. And I asked a question, who did this PowerPoint? They tried to be very, very magnanimous. It was a team effort, but I kept on drilling down. Who, till they pointed to a particular lady. All right. And there and then I could tell that she was creative, she was visually inclined, she could create visuals from data just there. All right. And long and short, definitely, I marked her as one of the guys I was going to join my own team earlier. So really, you have to identify what you are good at. All right. And then have a learning plan to scale up in what you are good at. Okay. We've all heard a lot of the panelists today speak about how they started. You would see that if you are real core tech, don't try to struggle with probably the visual side of things or the analyst side of things. I know another member of my team, and like I said, I can tell you stories upon stories. I know another member of my team that she's adept in using Excel, scripting from SQL, and then telling stories in PowerPoint, and then showing those insights and getting the business to act. All right. And that has set aside our own work. Okay. So, but for me, once you identify what you are good at, set up a learning plan. All right, set up a learning plan, give yourself time. It's interesting that am I in Analytics? Hope I'm it's okay. I mentioned you guys. Analytics is one of the platforms that you're able to learn a lot of all these tech skills. Don't just go with the flow. Don't go with the flow. Okay, all right, this is what is being in vogue now. You rush up to that and learn that. You need to sit back and do some introspection. It's December. A lot of people sit in December and they are planning for the new year, starting to think of how they're going to navigate the new year. We all do it. I'm doing it as I am now. And I'm asking myself, I told a colleague today that 2024 for me will be a year of priorities. I need people on the call to take that word and tell themselves, what should I prioritize on? All right. What kind of skills have I seen that I'm good at that I need to prioritize on? We've said a lot of other things on the call as well in terms of, do you have a portfolio? I think portfolios are very important these days. Okay. You do not go into an interview as a tech or a data professional and don't have a portfolio of work. I once hired somebody for a business intelligence role, and by the time it was even a cold call. I like, okay, let me see your portfolio. And then I could see the portfolio. I saw something that has been done, and that was it. Have a portfolio of work. All right. And AMDARI is here to help you navigate the area of real life projects. Get real life data, practice. Okay. I normally tell people that there's data out there if you don't have the work experience to even show for it. You have data in the World Bank, MBS, there. Pick real life data, try something out, put that portfolio, and then sell yourself. Do a lot of writing. Use AI, like the other speakers have said. Use AI to fine-tune what you can do already and use it to really project yourself out there. But for me, if I was to summarize it really, introspection, identify what you're good at, have a learning plan, get a portfolio, and put yourself out there. And the last but not the least really is for you to give it time. Some of you might just need to give it time. Okay. Not everybody, some might get their jobs in like 1 year, 6 months. Yours might take time. All right. But give it time. And within that time, keep honing on these things that I've mentioned. Thanks.
Absolutely fantastic. I love it. You guys going into the new year, you need to do one thing for yourself. You need to plan. All right. You need to plan and you need to list out at least. I told you one thing at the start of the session. You need to get a jotter so you can jot things down so you can take things out of the session. All right. So I would like to hear, does Lake or someone want to chip into that? What would you like to add? Or going into the new year, people are looking to, transition, looking to get a job in the tech space. So what would you say actionable steps they should do in order for them to, get this job that I'm looking at? All right. Actionable strategies, essentially, yeah. Nico, someone you want to go first?
Okay, I think Lucas is going.
Okay, all right. Let me take a shot to that. Yeah, I mean,
All right.
there is no better way to start planning for next year than today. I always like there's this book by Simon Sinek, which starts with why. I encourage you. If you've not read that book, pick it up. It's a very good book. Asking yourself why. Why do I even want to do this? How can I influence action by starting from the question why? So ask yourself, why are you even interested in data and analytics to even start with? If you ask me, my answer, and I love to always say this, is to catalyze growth. I always love to call myself the growth catalyst. And I know that one way to catalyze growth of any organization, any nation, is by using data and insight, and I begin to, wrap all of my plans around that reason. So your own reason might be different. Why do you even want to learn it? Is it just to make money? If it is just to make money, then I'm sorry. You found the wrong why. You must find a purpose that will drive you, right? So start from there, and then from there you realize that you can start really planning, right? Because you already know why you want to do what you want to do. All right. And then, another thing is prioritize. I love what Olamide has just shared with us, and coming from someone, with a lot of experience like him, telling us that he wants to prioritize. And I think it's a lesson for everyone, really, that guys, we need to prioritize. You can't be a jack of all trades, right? Whilst I always encourage entry level people to be generalists, but you can't, you must also learn to prioritize, right? Have that your quadrant of what are the things that are necessary, what are the things that are important, what are the things that are just, not so important, right? And then go for the most important things, right? And I tell you, you realize that by this time next year, right? Maybe one activity is write your statement, right? Next year, write a letter to yourself. I love to do that. I'm going to do my own. It takes time, to plan. Somebody once said something, I think it was Tony Robbins, that said that, planning is different from having a plan. Because when you're planning, it takes time, right? You can't just, on this call, I say, okay, my plan for next year, and you're writing something. No, right? You must take time, quality time, introspect and plan. And then when you have that your plan, planning process, then write a letter to yourself. Dear John, today is the 16th day of December 2024, and you've just you are now on your first job. You're on your second job where you're working as a data analyst, and you're doing this, and you're also having an NGO, a non-profit organization, a social enterprise. Write it in the present tense, right? And read it to yourself, right? I love to do that because it just provokes you. Say, guy, you are not doing well. This letter must come to fulfill, right? To fulfillment. So I encourage you to do that, and be very, very action oriented, action and result oriented, So those are just some thoughts coming from my head from my own personal reflections, and I trust that we all are going to do great in the year 2024. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Lincoln. Thanks a lot for that. Samuel, do you want to add, or are you okay with that?
Yeah, just a few. So I think both Lekon and Olamide has actually said everything, right? But Lekon, please, no vex. Me, I'm a jack of all trades. No vex. So but yeah, regardless, I still tell people that they actually need to tailor things down, right? Now, it's very much understandable that everybody wants to make a good career that would actually hold for the long term, which is very, very important, right? In this world where we are currently, it is very, very difficult to get a good job. It is really, really competitive. Just like Adora mentioned earlier on, when you go on LinkedIn to apply for a particular job, before you know, maybe you just decide to say, oh, I'll check on it tomorrow, right? Or maybe I'm currently in transit and I'll check on it later on. In the next hour or 2 hours time that you're checking on it, you're seeing over 200 persons have applied to that particular job. Now, how do you get to eventually stand out, right? These are the things that we're basically looking at. Now, one thing I get to say is that you have to ensure that you're putting your best foot forward, right? Everyone that you're going to be applying with, they are all in a competition with you to actually get that particular position. And of course, it may just not be the most intellectual person that will get the job. It may actually be the most skilled person. It may also not be the most skilled person that will get the job. It may actually be the most communicative person, right? So you want to ensure that on all fronts, right, you're building yourself properly and putting your best foot forward, right? So let your efforts get to stand out big. That way, we can ensure success, right? Now, it's very important for us to be able to think different in whatever we're doing. There's usually a proverb, right? I'm sure everyone will be familiar with it. Winners do things differently, right? But winners don't do things differently, rather, but they do things differently, right? So it's both ways. You want to do things differently, look at what other people are doing, also be able to re-strategize on yours and do things differently. And again, as a winner, you also want to look at what people are doing and say, oh, I think this way works, so I'm just going to hit it big, right? Now, one thing I also tell people a lot of times is if you want to change your life, right, you really need to know how to analyze your situation, understand what you're currently facing at that point in time. Oh, I'm applying for a job, and so far, these are the things that I have not really been able to meet up with. Work on those things, understand your situation, and then find out what works for you. I don't advise anyone to say, oh, this person is doing this, so I may want to also do this because it's working for them. Again, analyze your situation and figure out what works for you and do that. Now, another way to be able to ensure that you're succeeding in tech or you're getting into tech and landing jobs would be to have a dedicated pathway for your learning, right? Ensure that you have a roadmap for your learning. This is very, very important. I've had a lot of trainings, and many persons eventually they are taking things randomly. Oh, let's do Excel. Let's come back to Python. We take like 2 topics there, and then we'll go back to Power BI. We take 2 topics there, and then we'll go to Tableau and the likes. You need to have a dedicated pathway or roadmap for your learning. If you're taking Excel, understand all the curriculum or course outline for that particular course that you're taking. Ensure you're taking them one after the other. Don't say, oh, I want to take this one and then I have the knowledge of this. Let me jump onto the next one. Now, those things would eventually make you, at the end of the day, you won't even be able to learn anything or learn solidly what you're supposed to learn. In most cases, right, when you're taking courses, one topic is supposed to usher you into the next topic. So when you're skipping those topics and jumping and saying, oh, let me go and start from this one here because this concept is actually bad or I am unable to understand this, you're not helping yourself, right? So it's very important. Have a dedicated roadmap or pathway for learning and then follow it very well. A lot of times, most persons eventually get stuck on things that they are learning, right? And many other persons want to learn everything before they start applying for jobs. I don't understand. You're not omninowhere. So you cannot learn everything before you start applying for jobs, right? Whatever you're learning, ensure that you know it very well. I say something all the time, build on the fundamentals. Once you know about the fundamentals on everything that you're learning, you'll be able to get to the next aspect or unlock the next knowledge that you can easily. Or if you're skipping all those fundamentals, there's absolutely no way you can unlock what's ahead, right? So ensure you're learning, and whatever you're learning, you have to ensure that you learn it very well, know it very well, right? In order to become a master, you must first master the fundamentals, right? So everyone that you see that has actually become a senior person, they've all gone through the process of learning the basics and then building on it, and before they can actually become the senior persons that they are, right? So you want to ensure that you're looking into all of those things. Now, the last thing I have to say about this, if you need to get into tech again, I think this is something that I have actually seen play out a lot of times. Be very, very vocal about your work. Whatever you're doing, please put it out. Earlier this week, I celebrated my birthday and someone reached out to me on that same day, right? She sent me a message on LinkedIn. Hi, Samuel, good morning. I got the job. That was like the biggest gift that I actually got for that day. Now, this is someone who, after one of the trainings we had, right, she kept on working on projects, taking training, she kept on upskilling. And at the time, she's also always putting it out on LinkedIn. And for every time I get to see it on my timeline, I always ensure it's either I like and post, or maybe I just like and then go on to something else or leave a comment. Right now, it's very, very important. Be vocal about whatever you're doing. Let people see what you're doing. You never know, your employer or the next person that would actually lift you up from whatever level you currently are might just be somewhere on that platform. We've seen this play out a lot on Twitter. We've seen it play out a lot on LinkedIn. I can actually say about Instagram and Facebook, right? But of course, on both Twitter and LinkedIn, we've seen this play out a whole lot of times. Whatever work you're doing, whether you're doing the basic, you're just starting out, don't look at, say, oh, there are a lot of professionals here. Every time I go on LinkedIn, it's always oppression, oppression. This one is saying, I'm thrilled to share that I just got a new job. I'm thrilled to share that I just completed the project. I'm thrilled to share that I've graduated from this. Everybody is saying this. And do not look at all of those things. You have your own personal journey, right? So ensure that you're working on whatever you need to work on and you're putting it out for persons. Now, when you're putting it out for people, you're both getting reviews, right? The reviews are very, very important. Take reviews very serious. They're very important. You're both getting people to view your work and also getting reviews. Some persons would actually tell you, oh, I think you actually did a great job. However, in this part, you need to make some adjustments, right? Those things will actually help you in the next projects that you're going to be working on. So yeah, ensure that you have a dedicated roadmap. Be vocal about whatever you're putting out. Put out your work all the time. I don't want to mention names, but we know a whole lot of persons in the data community that has actually gotten jobs or gotten to the next over time, right? Over and over again. And another thing, ensure that you're not getting stuck learning the same thing again and again. Ensure, lastly, that whatever you're learning, you learn it very, very well in depth, and then, yep, should be good.
Oh, that's awesome. Thanks a lot for that, Samuel. Thanks a lot for that. I think, I like the fact that Leiko and Malamide and Samuel have done justice to that particular question. Okay, so I'm just going to hand over to Adeza. Adeza would like to ask some questions, and yeah.
All right, thank you very much, Efe. So I have just two questions for the speakers, but before I go on with the questions, I just want to add my own contributions to people and strategies that you can deploy going into 2024. You want to get into the tech ecosystem. How do you get into it? And I see from conversations, I see a lot of people make certain mistakes. And part of it is, I'm going to follow my passion. All right. I'm one of, I'm that person who I see the opposite when it comes to the passion narrative, following your passion, because people get into tech only to realize that, wow, it's a lot more difficult in terms of I need to actually commit myself. I need to put time. I need to dedicate time. I need to complete projects. I need to work on assignments. So it's, at a point, it starts to fizzle out. So rather than focusing on the passion narrative, focus on building the skills, a craftsman mindset. All right. If you focus on the craftsman mindset, it means that you know that you have to do a lot of hard work and you also have to master the skills that you are learning. And once you master the skills, you become so good at it, the passion would come in. So you create your first visualization, you write your first data pipeline, you get so excited that, wow, I never knew I could do this. And then the passion comes from there. Okay, so I always love to, don't follow your passion, please. All right, adopt a craftsman mindset. Okay, I just thought I should add that to the mix before I ask my question. So when I was transitioning myself, I faced a whole lot of challenges. It took me over 2 years. And part of the reasons was because I really didn't have anybody who had gone ahead of me ago. What should I do? I'm currently facing this particular challenge. How can I, surmount this problem? And it was myself and Efemena. So we're always together. After work, we stay back. We are practicing together. We are learning stuff together. I learned this particular function. What do you think about it? Oh, I now know how to do this a lot faster using Power BI, using this. And that was the conversation. We had no mentors. Okay, so my question I think I'll just start with Lekon and then I'll move to Olamide. What role do you think mentorship has to play in helping individuals make the transition or navigate easily? All right. So I'd like to hear from Lekon and then I'll move to Olamide.
Yeah, thanks, Adeza. I mean, that's a very, very important question. And if you would allow me, I think I love what you said about craftsman, because I know a lot of people are going to be asking what exactly it is. Maybe I can also recommend this book I read. Be Too Good, They Can't Ignore You. I forgot the author, but you can look it up. He spoke
Cal
about
Newport.
Exactly, Newport. Yes, thank you so much. It's a fantastic book. I read that book. It changed my paradigm, about the need for, mastering your craft and not just, following the passion philosophy. Thanks for sharing that, Adeza. Now to the question, I mean, there's this common saying, if you want to go far, right? No, I think, let me paraphrase it. I might not be able to quote it well, that, I'm able to see far because I'm standing on the shoulders of giants, and I tell you, and that's the same thing with this industry. The need for a mentor cannot be overemphasized. Everyone needs a mentor. We need, and when I say mentor, right, I mean it in every sense of it, right? Someone that you can look up to, someone that can inspire you, right? You need that, because you realize that what that would do or help you achieve, all right, is it accelerates your journey, right? It accelerates your journey. And that's the good thing about it. And now, what does this then mean when we say, having a mentor? Usually, right, mentors can come in different forms. Some of us are products of, I remember when I started, it was just me following a particular tutor, right, on Udemy. And it was like my mentor. It was like the person I was looking up to. I just loved him before I then transitioned into having a physical mentor, someone that and held me, through my career in the person of Dr. Bayo Adekombi. He's a role model to me, because when I see what he has done, right, I'm like, okay, yes, I can do this, right? When I'm stumbled, right, in making some decisions, I can hit him up and then he can advise me, right? So, guys, it is very important. And usually, and I think, Olamide also mentioned how that, he has mentorship, programs. I believe he has mentorship program because he has talked about helping people, navigate their path. So these are people that you can look up to. And one last point, because I really want to pass the mic and because I'll also be dropping off soon, is that don't be afraid of reaching out to people. The only thing is that when you are reaching out to people, also reach out from a symbiotic point of view. You see, I have a lot of people in my LinkedIn DM, or please, can you mentor me? I'm like, why not? Definitely. And then they go for like 6 months and they come back and say, oh, please, can you mentor me? I'm like, oh, wait, I thought I told you, you come up with it. Because people always think that being a mentor means that you're going to spoon feed you. No, nobody's going to spoon feed you. Usually, there are two ways to it. Is either you go to the person and say, oh, I've been doing this, right? I'm looking out for, someone like you to help me, guide me through my path in the industry, right? And you send a link to the projects you've done. I can tell you this year alone, if I'm to count, I think I've even lost count. I've reviewed over 30 portfolios for people. People just sharing links with me. Oh, please, can you just review this? And I take my time to go through those, portfolios and then give feedback. Right? That's what a mentor does. There have been times where, you know how LinkedIn is. HR will reach out to me, right? And because I'm not open for job, at least for now, I recommend, people that I've seen has been very good, right? I recommend them for those roles, right? So reach out to people, don't be afraid to reach out, because the fact is, those that you are reaching out to most likely also need you, right? They need you, right? Because I tell you, I always love to say this, and I always love to be sincere with myself. The greatest act of, selfishness is being kind. Because when somebody is kind to you, is either they are kind to you because it makes them feel good. I think someone said something about, somebody telling him I got a job, right? Quote and unquote, it felt good, but it was being kind. So know that people want to be kind to you because it makes them also feel good, right? I want to be kind to you because it's going to make me feel good, right? That yes, I'm making an impact in the life of someone. So reach out to us. I think AMDARI also has that structured way of mentoring, right? So plug in. These are opportunities that would help you accelerate your career and then get you growing as fast as you can, right? And last but not the least, maybe one last quote. I love giving out quotes, is that know that your network, all right, is your net worth. When you look at your circle, right, and it's just your group of learners, right, that is fantastic. But you want to have someone that is higher, have a group. And it's very easy to build those networks. Be genuinely interested in making yourself available to people, right? Be genuinely interested in looking out for people, right? Get the birthday of that person that you want to mentor you and wish the person happy birthday. Send a gift, right? But maybe to quote the Bible, the gift of a man makes way for him. The gift of a man there actually does not just mean what you can do, it also means what you bring to the table. All right. So I just encourage you, know that your network is your network, and you need to have that community of people that have gone ahead of you that can counsel and guide you. All right. So I'll stop there. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for that, Lekon. Olamide, can we hear from you, please?
All right. Fantastic comments from Lincoln. Let me start from one of the things that he said there. And I'll just really want to emphasize it as some of the don'ts when you're on LinkedIn. People are looking for mentors, and then there are ways to also engage those you want to mentor you. And you don't really have to. You can be mentored from afar. You can learn from those who've gone ahead of you without necessarily engaging. And then you do also need to engage. But one thing I would also like to throw out there, and it's majorly like an advice, really. When you do engage, there's a bit of decorum that people need to also employ when you're doing this. All right. And I want to put it out there because so that for those who might be listening, you would see that when you reach out to a couple of people for mentorship and you don't get the kind of response you want, it's not that they're being exclusive or anything. You want to be mentored, for example, and you're saying hello Adeza, and then you stop, or good morning. You go right to the point. All right. For instance, now you are on. We've been talking for a couple of hours now. If you shoot me up a message, and I tell people I accept every single person that sends me a LinkedIn connection, every single person. I don't even discriminate. I see you there, I just click, and I'm gone. Hello, Olamide. It was nice hearing you speak at the AMDARI launch. I'd really like you to. I'd like to connect with you. I'd like you to mentor me in the area of so and so. Stop. Even if I'm not going to respond immediately, I see it, it's clear, because the reality is this okay, for those of us in Lagos anyway, our Lagos can be very, very busy. Trust me, it can be. All right. And you are fighting for attention in the minds of somebody that already has other things competing for his attention. And trust me, a lot of us love to do this, but really there's a way to engage. I just felt I needed to put that out there. All right. But then I love telling stories, really. I consider myself a storyteller. And I'll tell a story about my own mentor as to lead a data team. It was my former boss. And it was pretty simple. One of these days, I looked up and I looked at him and like, okay, I think I want his job. I don't think I want to just do this or do this particular aspect. I want to lead a data team. And all I did was just to learn from afar. All right. I was paying attention to what I was doing. I was paying attention to how some decisions were being made. I was paying attention to how you navigate even between executive management, how to get projects out of the water, how to get approvals and some other things that you needed, and some of the other softer side of things that you will not learn when you're trying to write a Python code, you're trying to build a Power BI dashboard. I knew I needed to learn that, but I never for once went to him to say, sir, can you mentor me? I didn't. But then I learned from afar. I was taking notes. And it's so funny that sometimes when I find myself in similar situations in my job now, I find myself acting the way he would have acted in those specific situations. So there was really a time that I had taken to actually absorb a lot of the way he was doing things. And trust me, I found other ways to also make it better. All right. So you don't only stop at that. All right. So there are several ways to mentor. And for those of you out there looking for mentors, it's you and like I said, there's a way to engage. Don't be shy to approach, but also make sure you approach politely and you approach directly. All right. But then it's important to ask yourself, why do I want this person to mentor me? Or which area do I want to be mentored? Okay. I know there's a difference between a coach and a mentor. I really might not be able to give you the clear cut. I know I read it somewhere a couple of months ago in my head. I know that coaches are much more on the job. They are much more down to earth. They're much more granular. All right. I think if I can recall, you ask your mentor a particular question. All right. But coaches sort of like ask you questions to get you to maybe open up. So if you're going to engage a mentor, what question do you need to ask? All right. And you need to be clear that, okay, is it a question that aligns with where you are going? I know we've said quite a number of things today, really. And if you've been listening very intently and you take a step back, all right, and you found yourself, you've done a lot of introspection, you've made your priorities right, and you know where you're heading, then the next step might be to, who are the ones that have gone ahead of me? All right, and you've heard from fantastic people. I loved Samuel's story of of how he got into data. All right, there might be somebody that has, maybe you've had a similar experience, you're struggling. That's a good mentor. All right, and he would probably be able to mentor you not just in the technical part, but you're talking about other skills such as resilience, staying power. Those are not some of the things that you learn fresh off a textbook, or you go to a YouTube video, or Udemy or Udacity. It's not being taught there. Those are the things that only people that have gone along that path can, with their own experience, share their insights to help you, guide you through. Okay, but then those are, and like I said, you can also learn from afar. All right, even by just following. I've had a couple of people that will just tell me that, oh, they're just watching what I'm doing from afar. I remember the first time I resumed on the job I was doing, someone walked up to me in the organization. I was like, oh, I'm following you on LinkedIn. Da, 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 da. I was like, oh, really? I was surprised, because you have people that that are watching you the same way you can watch what people are doing, learn how they are navigating, watch their path. Okay, if someone wants to be a leader, for example, are there specific paths he's taking? Are there specific learning paths he's taking? When Lakon was talking, he mentioned the book by Simon Sinek, Starts with the Why. And I was just telling myself, oh, I think I have that book. And I got up, went to my library, and I found it. I'm like, okay, I've kept this book for a while. I probably need to just pick it up and go over it again. Those are aspects that you can start to pick up, really. Learning is a journey, and it's a very, very beautiful journey. And the role of mentors cannot be overemphasized. But then, just to stop and to wrap up, you need to be clear on the area you need mentorship on. Don't be afraid or be shy to approach, but then there's also a way to approach. Okay. And then learn how to separate when you need a coach from when you need a mentor. Coaches are much more granular, they are much more down to earth with you. Thank you.
Brilliant response. Thank you very much, Olamide. I mean, I could listen to you all day long, listen to you go on and on. Fantastic. So just my last question to, and I think that will be to Samuel. Okay, I was reading a report last week, and from the report, it clearly showed that about 13% of graduates only get to learn the skills that they apply on the job. So they get a job right out of school, and they've learned the skills, they've learned in the university, just 13%. Now, over 54% go ahead to do things that they never learned in the university. So you've gone to learn economics like Efemena. Efemena is a data analyst, data scientist, he's done data engineering. I've gone to learn industrial chemistry in the university. I've done data analytics and data science, and so many other people like that. So 54% of graduates go on to do things that they never learned in school. So my question to you, Samuel, is, and this has got me thinking, just reinforcing some of the things I've already known over the years. Would you say that working on projects are more important, or is more important than certifications? So you've gone to learn, you've written an exam, you've passed that exam. What do you think? Do you think certifications are more important than projects, or do you think projects are more important than certifications? What's your thoughts on this? Would like to hear from you, Samuel, if you are still there.
Okay, thank you very much. So, apologies, I may not be able to put on my camera at the moment.
Okay.
So yeah, I think this is a very fantastic question, right? I think I'd like to start with my own personal story. Yeah. So back then in school, I studied computer science, yeah, but I didn't really focus much on it until the later year when we needed to round things up, right? I started looking into building websites with WordPress. And of course, I tried out web development and software development, but I felt like this was not what I wanted to do, right? It just wasn't for me. Then I also moved on into digital marketing. Digital marketing, at the point I got tired. I was like, no, this is not giving me exactly all the fulfillment that I want. And that was when I now started looking, oh, what can I actually do that makes a lot of sense? I think for two reasons here, I got into data. One was because I wanted to have like a team of colleagues. So I had one who, a friend who was a front end developer. I also had another one who was a back end, and I wanted to be the data guy. I think that was when I figured there was something like data science, right? I wanted to be the data guy, so just in case we go for competitions, we would be able to like smash things. But till date, it never worked. The other guys that I wanted to form a tag team with, they are like seniors now in their own fields. So yeah, that's like one reason why. Of course, I had to do a whole lot of projects and certifications. But on the topic or on the question of whether working on projects is more important than certifications, right? When starting off, I think first it's very important to understand that when you're going into tech, right? In fact, let me just put it this way in what everyone would understand. In order to be considered as a tech bro or a tech sis, right? I think that's what people would want to hear. In order to be considered a tech bro or a tech sis, right? It means that you have the skills that you need to solve problems. Now, getting into tech means that you're able to solve problems, right? So, in order to be a tech bro or make person they call you tech bro, my G, this guy is in tech, it means that you need to be able to solve problems using technology,
Yep.
right? Now, you're absolutely not a tech person until you can fully demonstrate that you can solve problems using technology. Now, how do you solve problems? Obviously, not through certifications, obviously not through going through courses and likes. You need to be able to solve problems when you work on the problems. That's when you can only solve problems. Now, it's very important to understand, right? Certificates do not get you the jobs. Maybe in some places, but over time, from what I've been able to experience, right, certificates do not get you the job. And also, when we're talking about certificates, I think it's very important to note that certificates are different from certifications. A whole lot of times, what people get from programs are usually certificates of completion, right? Now, there's also what we call professional certifications. The professional certifications are the main thing that you actually need. Now, a lot of times, right, when you finish a program, you get a certificate of completion. Google does the same thing. Most people would actually finish the Google course, data analytics course, and then they'll say, "Oh, I'm now a Google data analyst," and the likes. You're not any Google data analyst. Google does not know you. It is until you take a professional certification exam that's when you can now become certified in that particular field. It's very important for us to note that, right? If you get a certificate of completion, it basically means, oh, I've been able to complete this particular program. But when you get a certification in that particular field, it means, oh, I have all the knowledge, all the theoretical knowledge, and also practical knowledge to thrive in this particular field, right? It's very, very important. Most employers look at your certifications more than certificates, right? You can have like 200 certificates of completion. No one cares about it, right? It's easy for anyone to enroll in programs. But one thing we need to note is that in order to get those certifications, you need to first get the certificates of completion. You need to first go through those programs, go through the basic programs, work on projects, and then you can now start taking your professional certification exams. Now, projects offer us hands-on experience, right? And we get to showcase practical skills, how we can also get to solve problems and our creativity when we work on projects. Certifications, on the other hand, they validate your theoretical knowledge and basically act as a foundation. Now, in tech, they are both important. Both certifications and projects are important. Now, I'm not talking about certificates, so that's absolutely not what I want to talk about. Certifications are very, very important, right? They give you overview. Okay, so certificates actually will give you overview and prepare you for your certification exams. Now, your certification exams get to tell anyone or your employer that, oh, this particular person has all the solid knowledge to thrive on this job, both theoretically and practically, right? Now, however, all that, it is very important to understand that projects are more important than certificates. When you work on projects, you'll be able to build the hands-on skill. It is those hands-on skills that you need to showcase in your job place. Whatever employer or whatever organization you want to work with, when you have those hands-on skills, you'll be able to show that, oh, I know what I'm doing, I have all the knowledge, and I can put them into implementation. Now, I'll tell you a short story, right? I once lost a job that I so dearly wanted because I had more theoretical knowledge than practical knowledge. Now, here's the thing. We had like a series of interview, and we got to the last point. It was just myself and one other person. Of course, I had even thought that it was just me, right? Because everyone was sharing me. Ah, guy, you've tried. These guys have stressed you. I think it was around like 3 or 4 times interview, twice with the CEO. And so the last one with the CEO was where it all got really, really big. And I had the interview. I actually thought it was going to be my last interview, and they just wanted to say, oh, congratulations. The funny thing was that I even went to the interview as a tech bro. I went to the interview without wearing shirt and trousers. I just bounced. I wore big shirt. I wore jeans trousers. I wore sneakers. I went there. I was like bouncing, like this is mine, you know. So unfortunately, I saw the other person. He was well dressed and it was all okay. So that was like my first background. Then the second one was that he had worked on similar projects in that field relating to that particular organization. And me, all throughout the interview, I was just giving theoretical knowledge. All the projects I had worked on then had nothing to do with what the business actually offers. Now, even you as an employer, right, you would agree with me that in a case like that, you have two persons that are presenting themselves to you. One has actually done a similar thing to what business solutions you're offering, while the other basically just has those theoretical knowledge. You'd agree with me that you pick the one that has actually implemented things that are quite similar. Now, that was how I eventually lost that particular job. I really wanted it so badly. But of course, I lost it because the other person had more projects and practical knowledge than me. I was giving all the theoretical knowledge, all the ideas, and CEO was nodding his head. This is nice, this is nice. But the other person had more projects. Oh, this was what I did. Now, if you need this, we can be able to implement this. When I get into the organization, this is what I'm going to bring. We'll make modifications to this. We can also implement this and the likes. And he actually sold himself more than me. So again, I think this also applies to anybody. If you go for an interview and someone has more projects than you, there's every tendency that they will definitely get the job more than you, right? Because they have all the practical knowledge. They know things to eventually tweak. I think last week there was the blue chip event that happened, and the second runner up, they asked him, "Guy, Alpha, how did you get to do this?" And he said, "This was one of my previous code. I just had to tweak it." Now, if you do not have that practical knowledge, there's absolutely no way you can be able to make tweaks, right? So yeah, it's very, very important to work on projects. When you work on projects, you become more smart. You're more open to all the knowledge. That's the best way to be able to implement all the theoretical knowledge that you have. So in simple, right? Working on projects is way far more better than just having certificates. And also, it's very important. Certifications are very, very important, especially professional certifications. So I would advise for anyone, if you can, please get professional certifications. They are more difficult to get and very, very important to have. They would also boost your chances of getting a job in the real world. So yeah.
Thanks for that, Samuel. I mean, build in public. I think one of the speakers said that work on projects because employers would want to see what you've done practically and not theoretically. So I think you clearly covered that question end to end. So thank you very much for that. Because of time, I'd have loved to hear from Olamide, but I think we'd get to engage Olamide via LinkedIn or email and so on and so forth. All right. So if Emena will be walking us through the platform, and we have still amazing stuff looking at the platform and seeing the type of projects and so on and so forth, just like we have all talked about today. So I'll be handing back over to you to continue. Thank you very much, Samuel, and thank you, Olamide.
All right, thanks a lot to our very, very experienced professionals that came to speak today. Just to share their profile again, Jennifer was up, Olamide also, Samuel, Adora, Olaliko. These are all. I'm very sure you guys have learned a lot from these guys, honestly speaking. If you've had a wonderful time so far, I want you to put a yes in the chat. Let's get to see if you've had a wonderful, wonderful time today, please. All right, I can see all the yes coming in. That's great. That's great. That's great. All right, keep them coming. Let's see them. Let's see them. All right, that's good. All right, jumping straight into the remaining part of this, the whole lessons of our conversation today. Going into next year, a lot of you are looking to build in public. All right, a lot of you are willing to work on projects. Now, key thing is not just you learn the technology, is learning how to use that technology to solve a business problem. All right, it might be in supply chain, it could be in logistics, it could be in the energy sector, it could be in banking. But the key thing for you is for you to work on projects that will put you ahead of any other person. Everybody can go on YouTube to learn Excel. Okay, anybody can go on Udemy, Udacity. That's not the key thing. The key thing is for you how to build projects that can separate you from any other person out there. Now, that's the reason what that's some, I talked about the reasons why we started AMDARI, okay? And looking at all the solutions that we are providing on the platform. So you get to work on real world projects, end-to-end project solutions. I'm going to show you some of the projects that you would have access to. Project portfolio repository. So in terms of you sharing your projects, your repository with recruiters, you would be able to do that via the platform. All right. So rather than building a website or you using GitHub for hosting your projects and all that, you would see that you can actually use your profile on Amdari. You can share with potential recruiters, and these are the projects you've worked on. So anytime they ask you questions, you have a ton of projects you'll be able to deliver. If you're looking for projects in banking, you would have it in your portfolio, insurance, logistics, renewable energy, any projects you're having, you'll be able to have that. Okay, you have it in your portfolio. All right. You would also be looking at having live hackathon. So this is like a hackathon, like I mentioned earlier, it's going to be in collaboration with organizations across the world. All right. So organizations are going through a certain problem and probably they want to turn it into a research, all right, to see what people from across the world can actually do, all right, to solve the problem. That's what we're going to be doing with the live hackathon. Sorry. That's what we're going to be doing with the live hackathon. All right. So we're going to be partnering with organizations across the world to some of the hackathon. Some of them will be paid, some of them will not be paid, depending on what the situation is. But the key thing for you is for you to gain that experience to say that, oh, you were able to build a solution for this organization. You came first, you came second, or you even just took parts in the hackathon itself. Every experience is good experience. Short courses to business case and data set data generator to recruitment. So we're putting you out there roles that you can actually take on, international roles, local roles across the world. We'll be doing a lot of recruitment on the site, and also team training, internship, and apprenticeship. All these and more are some of the services that we would be rendering in AMDARI. All right. So now talking about the spectrum of roles or spectrum of industry and also sectors that we're going to be dealing with on the platform. So if you're looking to become a data analytics professional, data scientist, or data engineer, okay, we have projects that cut across marketing and sales, product development, insurance, logistics and supply chain, energy and utilities, manufacturing, finance and accounting, real estate, government and public services, human resources, e-commerce, non-profits, customer service, transportation, and media. Now, the key thing for us having this huge repository of projects for you to work on is very simple. Now, a lot of people are missing out on so many opportunities. And you will hear, like, that's the reason why we brought in this very experienced people to share their own personal experience. Now, one thing that will separate you from any other person, the job market is not saturated. Some roles are, there are roles in the UK, in the US, even back home in Nigeria, in Africa, across the world. There are roles that exist at this point in time, but they can't find the right candidate to fill that role. Now, why do you think that is the situation at this point in time? Is because people lack relevant work experience. Now, bank is definitely looking to hire somebody that has banking experience. You've been a data analyst all your life, but you've always been a data analyst in the FMCG sector. But now you want to get a job in the bank, all right? And they're asking you a question on how you've used data analytics to solve critical questions, critical problems within a bank. You don't have that experience. Now, how can you work on projects in the banking sector for you to be able to gain this experience? That's exactly what we're trying to solve. All right. So we have a ton of projects. The aim for us is to get to over 500 projects cutting across different instruments, different tools, different technologies, different sectors, and so on and so forth. All right. So the project contributors, we have I'm usually very excited about these guys. We have healthcare also. There's healthcare, don't worry, it's a ton of projects. Don't worry. I'll show you the platform so you see the list of projects that we have across different sectors. Okay. So I'm very proud about these guys. These guys, the past almost over 4 months, all right, these guys have been working on projects. They have been they've been using their experience and converting it into projects that you can work on to gain that industry experience. So we have Victoria Ashefon, we have Ehi, we have Imalbong, we have Yobuza, okay, we have Jennifer Okeke, we have Precious, we have Shayo, we have Olive, we have Joy, we have Ibrahim, and we have Benedict. You see, these guys are, I would say, they are very experienced people, all right? And also, not just beyond experience itself, is also the ability to pass across, your knowledge, your experience to other people. And these guys have done a fantastic job converting their life experiences and also experiences of other people around them into projects that you can work on, guided projects that you can work on. So I'm going to be calling them on board. Okay, we have them in the house. Iyobuza's camera is turned on, so Iyobuza is on the call. Majority of them are on the call. We have Jennifer Precious is on the call. Jennifer is on the call. Let me see who else is. Let me see. If you're on the call, now you say yeah. All right, Jennifer, you're there also. Okay, I can see Jennifer. So you see some of them very beautiful faces, and I'll tell you for free, guys. I've learned a lot from these guys in the last 4 months with you know, something about experience. Experience is very relative. Okay, these are young professionals like yourself, like myself. All right, even younger that are doing very wonderful stuff in their career. Now, what we've done is to get the pool of them to, get that experience they've done, those experiences, take those experiences and convert them into projects that you get to work on. So you can reach out to them on LinkedIn, you can reach out to them on Twitter. They are all very amazing people to work with, no doubt about that. So, these are the guys that worked on the project. I'm going to show you some of the projects they work on, and I'm going to be doing a live demo in the next few minutes. All right. So I'm going to open my browser. Thanks a lot, guys. Unfortunately, just because of time, it may not be. I would like to hear you guys speak. So maybe after the live demo, I'll give you guys a chance to speak a bit. So this is AMDARI, okay? It's a web-based platform, okay, where you can get all the projects that you need to work on, all right? So you get to build a project portfolio, you get to work with industry-graded projects, ready-made solution, hackathon, so on and so forth, all right? So the website itself is not live yet, okay? It's not live yet. So it's going to be live by New Year, next year. So we're going to be starting a new year with the website and everything launched out, okay? Now, going through the website itself, just for us to see what we get from it, okay? So fostering authentic real-world experiences in the technology domain. So you get to build a portfolio in the desired field, where real-world experience become job-ready and accelerate your career. All right. So we have the key 3 areas that we focused on for now. Okay, we're likely going to be branching out to other sectors, to other key business areas, okay, business analysis, cybersecurity, data governance, quite a number of other areas exist that people need work experience, but can't get those work experience. So what we have done is just to focus, okay, data analytics, data science, and data engineering, all right? So you become 10 times better at what you do. Now, there's a key thing, all right, that we stand by, which is this mantra over here. What you hear, you forget. What you hear, if somebody tells you something, you likely will forget. What you see, you remember, okay? But what you do, you understand, all right? And that's a key thing for you. And that's why it's guided projects, not just data sets. Everybody can go on Kaggle to get data, but you don't know if you're doing the right or the wrong thing. You don't know what you're doing, all right? The best it's just to walk up something and you don't know what the end result, you really don't know. You understand? What are your recommendations? What are your insights? It's just there. You'll get it, but yeah, that's the whole idea. All right. So you can go on Kaggle to get data. You can go on data.gov. You can go on different sites to get data. All right. But the key thing is, what are your recommendations? How would you pass across this recommendation? All right. What would you tell a potential recruiter to say that what industry did you work on? What was the business problem? What was this? All those information don't exist in those kind of data. And those are the challenges that we saw, okay, also to say that, okay, can we build a platform for people to get this data, a business scenario, and also a solution so that people are guided through the real life solution. And bear in mind that these case studies are real life experience that we have transformed into learning materials. All right. So we have a ton of tools, technologies that we're working with, and I'm going to show you that in a few seconds. Now, if you go to explore, all right, you'll see in the skill tracker, we have data science. You can work on data science projects. You can work on data analytics projects. You can work on data engineering projects. Now, in terms of career track, the guys talked about pick the career choice, the career path of your choice. All right. Data science, you can work on data science projects, predictive analytics, forecasting, churn analytics, computer vision, natural language processing. For data analytics, you can work on data analytics projects, supply chain projects, logistics projects, product analytics, sales and product analytics, marketing analytics, and there's so much more. For technologies, you can work on projects in Excel, Power BI, Tableau, Looker Studio, SQL, Python, R, Google Sheets, AWS, Azure, GCP, and so on. For industry, the same thing. All right. You can get to work on projects in energy if you've never worked on any data analytics, data engineering, data science projects. You can work on them in the energy domain, general business areas, manufacturing, financial services, aviation, e-commerce. And so people are talking about healthcare. Yes, we have projects in healthcare also. All right. Telecommunication, gaming, cybersecurity, and so on and so forth. So I'm just going to start with, let's say, data analytics for a start. Okay. I'm just going to go to data analytics. So just to show you, this is it. You can work on projects using Excel, Power BI, Tableau, and you can even click on see more to see other projects you can work on. Projects in SQL, projects in Looker Studio, projects in Google Sheets, and more, quite a number. So data analytics is not just is a skill that can be applied to different roles. Okay. Now, as a data analyst, you can work in customer, which is what we call customer analytics, in marketing analytics, HR analytics, data analyst, risk analyst, product analyst, sales analyst, supply chain analyst. So there are quite a number of projects you can actually get to work on. All right. The same thing with data science. If I go to data science, work on projects in data science, and everything is well detailed and well structured in a manner that regardless of anywhere you are, regardless of where you're coming from, you would be able to work on this project and deliver, okay, and come up with key insights from them. All right. So data science, we have operations analytics, marketing, HR. So these are the ways you are applying, data science in each of these roles that you have there. All right. So you can select the domain that you want, you can select the sector that you want, you can select the role that you're looking for, and you can start to build your own project. Okay. So without wasting too much time, so let's look at the project contributors again. I love these guys because the past 4 months, like I said, we've been working hard to deliver on this particular product that we have in front of you. So these are the guys again. So once you go to the website, project contributors, you can check them out on LinkedIn, on Twitter, and you can send them messages. And they are obviously happy to mentor you also. All right. Now let's just take a look at one of the projects. I'm just going to go here to work on projects. Okay. And I'm just going to go to let me just go to one project. Let me just view all projects. Okay, so we have all projects here, and you see these projects are, like I said, are well detailed and on guided projects. Okay, so we have this one. The first one we have here is distribution network analysis, capacity planning for electric vehicle adoption. This is an actual case study, an actual real life scenario. All right, we have batch processing pipeline for user behavior analytics on GCP. We have cybersecurity. This is a cybersecurity case study, a machine learning approach to ransomware detection data science project, sentiment analysis for customer feedback, real estate price prediction utilizing multiple linear regression to optimize property valuation. credit risk assessment using logistics regression. So you see all these document understanding and OCR, extracting text from documents in form of images to enhance data accessibility and efficiency. So we have a ton of projects in there at this point in time. Currently we have a pool of over 80 projects cutting across data science, data analytics, and data engineering. All right. So the site is still, majority of the projects are still uploaded. And before the end of the year, like I said, everything will be uploaded and you will get access to a pool of projects to work on. Now, I'm just going to take you through one of the projects. I'm going to take you through this, Jennifer. I think Jennifer worked on this project. You see it here, Jennifer. So I'm just going to click on this project and we get to see exactly what it is. So with this here, let's listen to, once you click on the button here, it's going to give you a detailed overview, all right, of what the project is all about the business problem, everything you need to know. Okay, so I'm just going to enlarge this and
welcome to Power Charge Utilities, where we're powering the future.
Okay.
Welcome to Power Charge Utilities, where we're powering the future, one electric vehicle at a time. At Power Charge Utilities, we stand at the forefront of the energy sector, dedicated to delivering reliable electricity to millions. Our mission: to embrace sustainability and innovate alongside the world's technological advancements. But with great power comes great challenges. The rise of electric vehicles is revolutionizing our roads and our power needs. Our cities are now facing an unprecedented surge in electricity demand, leading to grid overloads and voltage fluctuations. It's a complex puzzle, affecting everyone from EV owners to the wider community. That's where our groundbreaking project comes in. Our goal is to harness the power of data analytics, transforming our electric grid into a robust and EV-ready network. And how will we achieve this? By leveraging the most powerful tools in data analytics. We're talking Python, NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, Seaborn, and GeoPandas. These aren't just tools. They're our keys to unlocking a sustainable and EV-friendly future. Join us on this electrifying journey. Dive into the world of exploratory data analysis, network optimization, and groundbreaking geographic visualizations. Together, we can light up the road ahead, ensuring a greener, more sustainable future for everyone. Power Charge Utilities, where energy meets innovation. Are you ready to drive change?
Amazing, isn't it? So now with this particular project, all the projects, they are all based on real life scenarios. Now, like I said, for this particular one, Power Charge is the business itself. So you would get the full story about.
Welcome to Power Charge Utilities, where we're powering the future.
All right, you get there's a full detailed overview of the project, all right, the business problem, okay, the rationale for the project. So now this is what we call distribution network analysis. This is a data analytics project, okay? So the distribution network analysis in the energy industry refers to the process of studying and evaluating the electrical distribution network that delivers electricity with high voltage transmission lines to end users such as homes, businesses, and industrial facilities. So if you are a data analyst looking to get a job in the energy domain, for example, these are kind of projects you would need to work on, all right? In order for you to sell yourself, to say that these are the kind of projects I've worked on. This is how I've optimized, grid optimization, network and distribution network analysis, and so on and so forth. All right. And these are the things that you get to work with. So this is a Python project. Somebody was talking about R. We do have our projects on the platform. So we have projects across different tools. So if I go back to Explore and I go back to technologies, you'll see R is one of the tools that we have there. Okay, so every project is available. So I'm just going to take you on the spin for another project. Okay, so we can get to see another project. So I'm just going any random project again. Let me just say, this is shopping cart abandonment analysis for an e-commerce. So there are quite a number of them. So let's say order fulfillment. Okay, I'm going to take this. All right, and just give it a few seconds to load. That's not loaded. Sorry, just give me a second. Sentiment analysis, real estate. This is an R project. Okay.
In the heart of Manila's vibrant pulse, there's a force driving the real estate industry towards a revolution. Welcome to Real Estate Bud, a beacon of innovation and accuracy in property valuation for over 20 years. But even the brightest lights cast shadows. The ever-changing Manila landscape presents a labyrinth of valuation challenges. Urban developments, policy changes, and shifting market desires create a mosaic of fluctuating property values. For Real Estate Bud, the stakes are high. Missed opportunities for clients or overpriced listings can erode trust and dim the future of real estate transactions. This is where our journey begins. A quest to refine property valuation, to forge a path of precision and clarity in a market ripe for disruption. Armed with multiple linear regression and the analytical prowess of Microsoft Excel, we're not just predicting prices. We're crafting a future where every estimate is an insight, every number a narrative. Join us on this data-driven odyssey, where each bedroom, each lot size, each amenity is not just a feature, but a story waiting to be valued. Our aim: to construct a valuation model that stands unwavering against the tides of market change. A tool that empowers decisions, enriches investments, and enshrines trust. Real Estate Bud, where data meets determination, where value meets validation. Be a part of this revolution. Be a part of our story. Are you ready to redefine real estate with us? Join Real Estate Bud today.
All right, amazing, isn't it? Amazing. So we have a ton of projects cutting across different industries. You read about real estate, you read about energy, and that's a ton of other projects exist across different sectors, across different businesses, across different tools, and so on and so forth. All right, so quite a number of them. I'm just going to go through one of them, just show you the dashboard. So I'm just going to go to I've logged in. So this is how the dashboard looks like. All right, so you would have a project portfolio where you can access all the projects that we talked about. So this is like the user dashboard that you would have, okay, where you can work on data science project, data analytics project, data engineering project. So if you're a data engineer looking to work on projects, we also have projects for you. Let's just take it for data science, data engineers. All right, so let's just do one.
In a world where data drives decisions, one project stands out in its ambition and scope. Welcome to the batch processing pipeline for movie review analytics on GCP. Variety Incorporated, at the forefront of movie review analytics, faces a modern challenge. The overwhelming volume of movie reviews, rich with user sentiments and content recommendations, demands a cutting-edge solution. This is where our project shines, leveraging the best of Google Cloud Platform with GCP to harness this data deluge. As Variety Inc. navigates the vast ocean of data, they encounter two formidable foes: scalable infrastructure deployment and analytical latency. These challenges hinder timely insights and impede the company's ability to stay ahead in the competitive movie review analytics arena. Our mission: to craft a robust, scalable solution on GCP that not only tackles these challenges head-on but also sets a new standard in data processing efficiency and insight generation. We aim to revolutionize how Variety Inc. processes and analyzes movie review data, turning raw information into actionable insights rapidly. To achieve our ambitious goals, we've assembled an arsenal of cutting-edge tools: Airflow for workflow orchestration, Terraform for infrastructure automation, Kubernetes for container orchestration, and vital GCP services like BigQuery and Cloud Dataproc. Together, these tools form the backbone of our advanced analytics pipeline, ensuring precision, efficiency, and scalability. Join us on this groundbreaking journey. Empower Variety Inc. to harness the full potential of their data, making faster, smarter decisions. Be a part of a project that's not just about processing data, but about shaping the future of movie review analytics.
So trust me, guys. What do you guys think about this? Let me hear from you guys. What do you guys see about this project? Are you guys not interested? All right. Okay, amazing. Thank you. That's good. That's good. Are you guys excited? I'm not saying yes, no. Let me see it. Let me hear from you guys. Let me hear from you guys. Excellent. Looking forward to diving. Okay. All right, that's good. Super excited. So you get to work that project that you're looking to, like that project experience you're looking to get, you will get enough of those project experience on the platform. All right. So like I said, we have live hackathon. This is coming soon. So we're looking at partnership with different organizations across the world to host hackathon, to solve business problems and so on. So it's not just projects. You get to work on live hackathon. You have your user profile. You would have your portfolio. This is your portfolio in which you can share with other professionals, recruiters and so on. All right. So you could also learn. This is also coming soon. We also have blogs that will be, materials, blog articles that you could read on, like the articles, the books, and things that you need to improve yourself, essentially. So without wasting too much time, I'm just going to show you one of the projects. Okay. I'm going to start with this network analysis. Starts now. And I'm going to show you how the project goes, how you look at the project solutions and everything. So you have all the data sets. You have the data sets. So this current project, which is distribution network analysis, capacity planning for electric vehicle adoption. Okay. You would have the data set, which is synthetic. These are all the data set that you get to work with, EV distribution data, geospatial data, and weather data. Now, you have everything arranged for you from the project overview. So now the key thing is for you to even understand the project itself. Why are you doing the project? Okay.
Hello there, my name is Jennifer Okeke.
So we'll just
I'm
read
a
this.
data analyst at AMDARI. I'll be walking you through the distribution network analysis project. This is basically capacity planning for electric vehicle adoption. This is an intermediate data analytics project and it is in the energy domain. That is the business focus.
You guys have not.
So if you're an individual
When you get through it, don't worry, you'll get to see
for
everything.
data visualization.
Okay. All right. So you have the business overview. That's the business. What's the business?
Operating in a dynamic, being the business of focus, is a proficient electric utility provider operating in a dynamic and evolving energy landscape. The energy industry has evolved over the years, and one of the most notable developments has been the adoption.
Right. So you move from there for business overview to the business problem. What is the current business problem that you want to solve? What's your analytics solving? All right. So this is in the energy domain, like Jennifer mentioned. All right. And you go on to, working on the project, network capacity assessment, identifying the bottlenecks and so on and so forth. So let's just take one of the videos, one of the solutions, and you get to see exactly what you, right? Sorry,
The research index. So the next thing is to merge the total consumption data with the geospatial data.
You see, everything is step-by-step process
Okay, let's try
analysis,
to identify
walking
that.
you through all the process, potential problems you might face, solutions to
And the range of
recommendations,
overload is
and all
totally
the things that you come up with. So these are projects that are well thought out, okay? Industry
work.
experiences that we have taken and transformed into hands-on projects, okay? And you have a ton of them like that that you can actually work on and get yourself started. You can work on it, you can see them working, you can actually use it as your own real life experience, okay? So those are the things that you get to work on. So from shopping cart abandonment, I can start a project and you see quite a number of projects are there for you to work on, from e-commerce to healthcare to all the things you need to work on. All right. So, this is the platform that is going to be, we're definitely going live next year. Okay. We're going to be going live. So we have created a waiting list for people that would be interested.
Previous months, and let's just keep.
All right, so this is another project, shopping cart abandonment. You see all the projects in
So,
there. Okay, so we are rounding up and we are cleaning up. We are just ensuring everything is working fine before we start to accept users into the platform. The first couple of months is going to be free, meaning that you can have access to as many projects as you want, so you can get as much experience. So if you want to be part of the first set of people that would access this for free, you need to join the waiting list. All right, so we have a waiting list, and my colleague Esther will paste the link in the chat for you to register to be a part of the waiting list. So Esther, if you can drop the link for the waiting list, that would be good. So all you need to do is just register to be a part of the people that would get that initial, access to the platform. And like I said, it's going to be free. There's no payment. You're not paying for anything. You will get full access to the platform. You get to review, you get to work on projects, you get to work, gain experiences, and so on and so forth. All right. So what do you guys think about this? What do you guys think about this? What do you guys think about this? Let me hear from you guys. Let me hear from you. If you want to speak, I would like you can raise up your hand. I would like to hear from you guys. Okay, let me hear from Henry. Okay, Henry's name. Okay, Omar. Okay, let me hear from you.
Hi, Ife. Good evening. Amazing.
Hey,
Hi, Henry. How you doing?
I'm okay. I'm okay. Nice to reconnect again after a long time. Yeah, this is fantastic. I mean, it's just a wonderful opportunity to delve and learn more. I mean, it's more like a Analytics version 5. That what we did was version 1. This is version 5. So it's just awesome having a hands-on project. So I mean, this is just fantastic. So a thumbs up to you guys. You guys are doing a great job, and thank you for all you have done. Thank you for what you are doing. I
thank
appreciate
you, Henry. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. That's analytics term 1.5 or 5 point something. Thanks a lot for that. That's really cracked me up our line. All right, thanks a lot, Henry, for that. If I let me hear from you.
Okay, yeah, good evening.
Okay, yes, good evening.
Can you hear me, please?
Perfectly, yes. Yeah, if I hear, we can hear you.
Yeah, good evening. Okay, yeah, like I really appreciate tonight's section. I really learned a lot of things, like the insights from Mr. Olamide and Samuel. Like it's now I know the difference between professional certificates and also the other one. Like he differentiated between being a professional and just being certified. Like it's the first time I really knew the difference. And also like this website that is for free, it's also a very good opportunity for us to learn and also to get project done, because there's some project on cargo too that I don't even understand. And most of them are already cleaned or and done already. But like with this website, I really appreciate that for giving us the opportunity to access it.
Also, yes, yeah, we've all been in that situation. You get data sets and you find out that you don't even know what to you do the solution, but you're not convinced what the
Exactly.
yeah, we've all been there. So that's really why we started this, to be honest with you also. All right. So thanks a lot, Ifeanyi, for that. Really appreciate the feedback. Let me hear from Ifoma. I'm correct? Yeah.
Hi, Femina. Good evening.
Good evening.
Can you hear me?
Perfectly, yes.
Okay, I just want to say thank you so much to you guys for this opportunity. Like, I'm still in data analytics training, and I'm kind of like, how do I go into the world? Okay, fine, I'm doing the training and all that. How do I actually practice on several projects and all that? But this has really given me like more confidence, like 110%, that I know that I will definitely succeed in this field and in this career. And I just want to say a big just thank you so much, you guys. You don't know what you guys have done to us, the newbies, but you have done a great job. Thank you so much. We are really looking forward to that. Thank you so much.
All right, fantastic. You're just hearing you guys speak about this, honestly, is reinforcing the need, why we needed to do this in the first place. So thanks a lot for that, Informa. All right, appreciate it big time. I'll just take one more person, unfortunately, just because of time. We only wanted to spend 2 hours, but we're spending about 3 hours now. All right. We're just going to take iPhone. iPhone. I don't know what your name is. Yes, the link can be sent again. So please, guys, if you want to register using the link, just for part of the first set of people that will have access to it. Like I said, it's going to be free of charge for you to work on as much project as you can. But you need to join the waiting list. Okay. All right. So please register your interest. Okay. And anything that you need All right. In the waiting list, you would see questions asking what kind of projects do you want? What the whole essence for us building this is for us to even get to the level whereby we're building customized projects for you. All right. So if you are currently working in an industry and you need a particular solution, we can actually devise solutions. We can build case studies, solutions for you and around it and all that. All right. So yeah, definitely. Let me take gifts since iPhone is not speaking. I'm just gonna take gifts, and I think that's the last person I'm going to take. Hey, welcome. My guys, Yobuza, all the project solution, all the guys are on the call. Gift, yes, go ahead, please.
Hello. Hi everyone. I am okay. Actually, I joined late and I got to hear a few speaker. I got to hear from Olamide. I am actually new in the data space. I have a background in broadcasting, in media production, and I want to switch. And what I really enjoyed was when I think Olamide spoke about you finding out what you actually want before starting a data analysis class and all. So I think it has opened my mind, and I'm looking forward to find out what I want and start up, um, start the training. Yeah.
All right, that's fantastic. Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot
Yes.
for that gift. I really honestly love that. Thank you very much. So I think that's just about it, guys. So once you join the waiting list, you'll be part of the first set of people that will gain access to it. Then you can use it for free. You use that to, gain as much experience as you can. You work on as much project as you can. So I think that's just about it, guys. Adeza, do you want to add anything? And just before Adeza comes in, sorry. So about what gift said, okay? So we have quite a number of career paths that you could actually work on. So we have career paths, supply chain, logistics, product, sales. A lot of people come in to start asking questions like, what kind of things can I do? What kind of projects can I work on? What industry? A lot of people think data analytics is just one niche, data analytics. All right. Not thinking that they can actually work on different domain areas, customer analytics, HR analytics, risk analysis, and so on and so forth. So quite a number of places you could actually work in different industries. Same thing with data science, same thing with data engineering. So all these projects are very immersive to get you started, get you not just started, but get you experienced because these projects are hands-on industry crafted projects. Okay. All right. So I just wanted to chip that in because of what Gift said. So you can Adesa, yes. What?
All right, if it just confirm you can hear me, please.
Perfectly, yes.
All right. So I think, I've been marveled by the responses from people and the adoption. I think it's absolutely phenomenal. And I would just like to say, guys, just join the waiting list. You'll be the first to know as soon as the platform is up and running. And you have the luxury of being on the platform for free and, get to see the project, get to work on something and get your hands busy and implement all the things you've heard the speaker, talk about today. I'd just like to say that this is a unique opportunity for those either wanting to get into the tech ecosystem or you are already within the system itself. You've gone to learn on different platforms. We have people like that. We've interacted with them, we've engaged with them, but they really don't have projects. They haven't tested their hands on industry-ready projects. And this is an opportunity for you to eventually get that done, add that to your portfolio, and you have experience that you can showcase and be at the forefront of any potential recruiter. I think having 164 people after 3 hours shows that you guys are really, really interested in getting this up and running. Now we are super excited to have you join us today. And we are waiting and eagerly waiting to ensure that we put this up in place and you have access to it, the very first people to have access. And please share it with your friends, your colleagues, let them get to know that there is something like this that exists for them. Okay, your colleagues, your family members, and so on and so forth. And to our Analytics family, of course, you'd also have the opportunity to be a part of this as well. We definitely have you in mind as we get all of these things done. So thank you very much once more for joining us today and being a part of the product launch. Thanks. So if over to you.
All right, thank you very much, Daisa, for that. I think that's really the launch for the event, and the key thing that Daisa mentioned. Please tell your family, tell your friends, tell your enemy. All right, let them benefit from gaining real world experience. All right, so thank you very much. Please, if you want to be part of the first set of people to leverage this platform, so it's for you to build your own projects. Okay, build your own projects, gain your own experiences in different sectors, different industries, different tools like I mentioned. So if you're looking to work on tools, you've been hearing of Lucas Studio, for example, you don't know how to deploy, you don't know how to work on those, you've never worked on those kind of projects before, you would have opportunity to do that. Same thing with R, same thing with AWS, Azure, GCP, and so on and so forth. Also different industries, career paths, different career paths, and so on. So, it's very exciting for us, to be very honest with you, because the whole aim for myself and Days right from the onset when we started, all right, has been how can we help more people learn, okay, gain this experience, okay, gain as much experience, transition. Because when you look at the tech space itself, it's dominated by Asians and the white folks essentially. How can we get more Africans? And this is not just a Nigerian platform, it's an international platform where every other person can come in to gain experience as much as they can. All right. So, join the waiting list and trust me, guys, you want to be part of the first of the people to leverage this. Somebody, all right. So thank you very much for that. It's absolutely, I'm totally excited to see and work with the first set of people that will be on the platform. So thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, guys. And please, when you're filling the waiting list, tell us what you want. Okay. Tell us exactly what you want. Is it customized? It could be customized to suit you. All right. So tell us exactly what you want. You want to work on a particular project in the domain, in whatever domain itself. All right. So take, for example, data science. You want to work on deployment. So you've learned how to use machine learning, but you really don't know how to deploy. How do you not deploy your ML models and all that in a real life scenario? Everything will be covered in all these projects. All right. So, and so on. There are quite a number of things that you will learn. Trust me. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. And I think I'm just going to stop sharing. And I want you guys that our team members, okay, to come in. Let me see if I can bring some of them. I can see Iyobuza on the call. All right. Iyobuza is on the call. We can see Benedict. We can see Ehi, Dr. Ehi. Who else? Can I see Precious is also on the call? These guys are, they are young, but they are powerful people. I won't lie to you. Okay. Young and very, very powerful people. All right. So I don't know if you guys would like to say something before, anybody that would like to say something, or how's your experience being so far creating this project, working on this project? Precious, do you want to go first? I'm going to put Precious on the spot. Precious is my guy. All right. So Precious, let me put you on the spot. So Precious, go ahead. You're muted. Okay. Oh, you can't talk. Let me ask you to unmute. I know that nobody spoke. I'm very does. Yes. Okay, can you speak now? You can unmute yourself, Precious, if you want to.
Hi everyone, I'm very happy to be here today. It feels good seeing the projects we'll be working on finally come to life. So it's a great time working on the project. We worked on several projects on data science ecosystem, ranging from supervised learning to unsupervised learning and building recommendation systems and also going to see how we can use pre-trained models for computer vision tasks. So it was a very interesting period working on this project. That's for sure.
Okay, fantastic. You'll get to work on building recommender systems. You get to work on computer vision projects, supervised, unsupervised, all the way to deployment. You get to work on that. It's full-on projects, guys. Let me take one data engineer. Ehi, I can see your picture. Okay, I can see you here. I'm just going to make you a co-host so you can unmute yourself.
Hi everyone, good evening. Nice to meet you all. So, this project is actually very, very close to heart because with this project, we got to explore different aspects of data engineering, from building the basic ETL pipelines to building very complex advanced pipelines. We're building some kind of pipelines that will make you say, hey, but it's fun. It's fun. And you get to learn a lot. You get to learn a lot. You get to look at different scale, different tools. We leverage on open source tools, on closed-ended tools, on cloud tools. There's so much to learn, honestly, and there's so much coming. I can't wait for you guys to start consuming the content.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot, Pehi, for taking out time to say that also. So, all right, guys, thank you very much for staying to the very end. Thank you. I know it's late. It's around 8:50 Nigerian West African time. Even in UK 7:15, it's also late. It's not too late, but we've been on call since 5 o'clock. That's West African time. But thanks a lot for taking our time. I hope you've learned a lot from this session. If you have enjoyed yourself today, guys, I want you to put a yeah in the chat. Yeah. Put it there. Oh, someone from outside is Kenya. Oh, 10:15, that's very late. Thanks for staying on the call to this very time. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Please, I need to talk with a date and if you're 10 and 6 of November. Isha, just send a message to your coordinator, okay? And they'll get you across. Send a message to your coordinator and you'll be able to speak. You'll be able to get across. All right, it's easier that way. The recording will be ready as soon as possible. First thing, either tomorrow morning, you should get it in your mailbox, or it's going to be up on YouTube also. So you can always go on YouTube to get access to it. All right. So thank you very much, guys. Thanks for staying to the very end. Really appreciate you guys taking out time to listen to us, to learn. Okay. You guys are, the real MVPs for today's session. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening. And Adeza, any other thing? Will be good.
I think we're good. Time to retire for the evening. Thank you very much, guys, for joining us and being a part and allowing us to be a part of your weekend. And I hope you have gotten something from being with us and joining the session today. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Adiza. Thank you, Femina. I really love you.
We love you too. All right, guys. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, Femina.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Thanks, boss.